I love it. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on, guys? Coach Colin here. Whoop, whoop. Let's get it started, guys. Man, oh man. I was up at 5 a.m. Kid's sick again. I think the kid has like a stomach bug or something. I don't know. It's like, 5 a.m. I'm holding this kid over the bathroom sink, just thinking about tossing the kid into the shower. Kids is throwing up. I'm just like, oh my God. It's wild. It's wild having a kid, because I'm just like doing it willingly, but I'm like, oh man, could I just go back to sleep right now? Like, I wish, but I can't. The lights are on. I'm just like, terrible. Kids should be fine though. Kids just fine. And of course, have to stay up because I'm a terrified parent. So I just stay up and I just go, okay, let's see if anything else happens. And I'm just like, I just had to lay there until like, I think 5:45 or something like that, 6. And then your boy's up at 7. So we're so tired. So 24 ounces of coffee later and green tea. We are up. We are caffeinated. We are here. It is Tuesday. A merry Tuesday to everyone and a happy new week. Let's get into it, guys. Baby's going to be just fine. But if anything happens with the baby while I'm streaming, I'll run out of this room. I won't even sign off. I'll just run out. I'll just run. Wife knows it. Everybody knows it. This is the way I am as a father. But let's jump in here. Where are all my tabs? You guys, I'm surprised I even got the tabs ready. Quite honestly, I was shocked I even got them ready this fast. I got to tell you, I didn't think this was going to happen. I thought I was going to be a little late. buymeacoffee.com/Coach Colin. Oh man, is that how reading's going to be for me for the next for the next few hours, guys? If that's how reading's going to be, oh man, mountain of tabs. I had Mama, I got this mountain of tabs that I got to get through. I need some help over here. Oh, baby, you don't need all them tabs. You could just go out and talk to the people. Oh, Mama, I need me some tabs. I got a mountain of evidence. Ain't no way I'm going to get paid my $7,000 if I don't have my mountain of tabs, Mama. Oh, come on down from that mountain of tabs, baby. Anyways, it's been put up. I start talking like him. As soon as I'm done, I got to move away. I got to not talk like him for at least 10 minutes. It's just too much. It's pinned. It's pinned. It's there. Now we're going to be talking about some different stuff here. I saw Baron touched on it. I like that Baron touched on it. He was good through it. He was like kind of ruthless through it. The whole Jack Hibbs. It's Jack Hibbs, right? Jack Hibbs and Frank Turek podcast that they did. I found it very interesting. So we're going to go through that a little bit. I'm also going to go through Candace Owens in Anacasperia. And also I am going to pray right now that you guys can actually hear this stuff. Because if you can't, oh no. Can you? Let's actually pull up a tab that is not already sectioned out. Can you hear this? Can you?
Literally, she's a victim in this case, is fighting them. They're like, no, we want to keep the May date. And I'm like, so why would you want to keep the May date? And I instantly alerted the public to that. I'm like, they are not giving them. We have no idea of these shady messages. Did Kash Patel, after a few beers, type them up? We don't know. We can't say no.
Okay, good. You guys can hear it. Beautiful. Well, yeah, it's Kasperian, but I gotta tell you, and I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't care. I'm really weird that way. I'm really, really weird that way. I can admit it. When someone's like, oh, it's actually pronounced this way, I'm like, I don't care. They learn mine. I don't learn theirs. That's how I'm going to be when I'm in Italy, too. I'm going to be like, no. It's espresso, actually. You learn mine. I don't learn yours, but I'm going to boot it out of the country. I'm going to get booted out of the country. They're going to take my passport away from me. No, it's grazie. It's grazie, actually. Buddy. You learn mine. I don't learn yours. Hold on. What? Hold on a second. Hey, guys, hold on. They're going to toss me out. I'm going to toss out of the Vatican. Going to get banned from the Vatican. I'm kidding. I'm going to be very nice. I'm very nice to other cultures. I'm very, very nice. But we're going to start there. Then we're going to jump over to Jack Hibbs and Frank Turek. Frank, I have something to tell you. What do you have to tell me here? Oh, well, what we're selling right now is fresh, hot Fed Slop. We got some Fed Slop for you. Let me tell you something about how Charlie felt about Israel. I know exactly what you're going to say right now. You know exactly what I'm going to say? Every report that he was moving away is absolutely false. You have it right, sir. And if you at home would like to purchase some of what we're selling, it's going to cost you the low price of 5 payments of $900. 5 low payments of $900. We don't even take it out of your bank account. We're going to take this directly from your taxes, ladies and gentlemen. This is fresh, hot Fed Slop, ladies and gentlemen. That was them the whole time. The whole podcast, that was them. That was just it. That was a whole... I just summed it up. Even if you don't want to watch it, I just summed it up. Don't even worry about it. Hour and 9 minutes of your life. You can just take it back. Take it back, touch some grass, have a good time, talk to your kids or something. I mean, it was ridiculous. But we're still going to go through it. Baron had some interesting insights. I didn't get to watch all of Baron's episode on it, but and then we're going to talk about, I'm not going to pull up these tabs right now. I'm just going to make sure my bookmarks are open on X, because there's something going on between BB and the Prez. And I don't know if I believe it. You know, we'll talk about it. I don't know if I really believe it. I think it's something that they're trying to pull on people to make it seem like the Prez is like a little harder than we know him to be on BB. I don't really think it's real. I got to be honest with you. We'll get to it though. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I just want to leave it right here. I'm just opening up a couple tabs just as a little reminder for myself. But also a lot of people are posting this for some reason. I don't know why. They're saying happy Pride Month. And then they're just putting this picture here. I really don't understand. I don't understand the joke at all, right? Don't get it, right? I mean, happy Pride to everybody. I think it's something to be celebrated. But people just keep on posting this picture along with their happy Pride messages. No, not really sure why at all. You know, couldn't explain it to you. This guy Randy ended up posting this. No idea why. Couldn't tell you. Just showing Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson's a stand-up guy, patriot of sorts. Haircut's not helping his cause much. The glasses aren't helping the cause much either. Those are very odd glasses there. Very feminine glasses, if I say so myself. But anyway, let's get to so many people are posting that. It's crazy. So many people are posting that. They keep posting Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson is a patriot. How dare any of you? I should actually show that thing. I'll talk about it later. Maybe I won't, because it's not that long of a segment. But Benny Johnson was like, all hail the king. He was talking about the president, and he's yelling into the camera, all hail the king. It was so crazy. He's just unhinged. He's worse than Officer Tatum. I don't care what anybody says. Officer Tatum at least has a comedic element to him. Benny Johnson is just like, what is happening? What are you doing? What's happening with you, man? It's so weird. It's such a weird thing to watch happen. But he's way worse than Officer Tatum. At least Officer Tatum's like a little funny. You know, he'll move away from certain topics, move to other things. You know, he has mama, right? Benny Johnson doesn't have mama. Officer Tatum has mama, you know, and she comes in. She's the voice of reason. Much better, you know. Benny Johnson just tries to sound like Tucker Carlson while demonizing Tucker Carlson. It's like, what are you doing? What are we watching? What has that channel devolved into? You know? Oh, I wish they would audit those people. Wish they would audit their bank accounts. I wish they would. Oh, I wish, you want freedoms, but also it's like, I would love to see all the creators' bank accounts get audited just to see, their business ones. Oh, it would be nice, but that's not going to happen. It shouldn't happen as well. It's just a little selfish thing I want. Anyways, let's get into it. Candace and Anna talking. I never got to talk about this episode, so I wanted to walk through it a little bit. This is where she talks about feeling used. Now, there were other times in her podcast while she was with her by herself where she talked a little bit about feeling like there were handlers around her, how she was pushed in certain ways, had to meet up with certain people as she was working with, I believe, PragerU, as there was a whole cancellation that was looming over her head. And so interesting that she talks about this a little bit, but it's something that you do have to admit. And it's great that she's admitting it. Also, I just like to bring up really quick for everybody who keeps parroting it out. Candace is done with politics. She just sat down for an almost 2-hour conversation where they talked about nothing but politics. She's not done with politics. She's done with politics as she knew it. She's done with being used by the movements. That's what she's done with. Anyway, let's get into it.
I was like, what am I missing here? Like, how did I miss that I was in partnership with these people that you're right? This is not a theology for them. This is a cult. This is a cult.
What's really interesting and something that I've always wanted to ask you about is, do you feel that, I'm sure, look, I'm seeing the success of your show. So obviously there's a giant portion of conservatives out there in this country who side with you and don't fall under the category that I'm about to describe. But do you feel like you were kind of used as a tool earlier in your career?
Absolutely. I know, not feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact.
Because when you're critical of, let's say, the Black community, they love it, right? That's when you get a platform and you get all the plaudits and speaking engagements. But once you speak out against what's happening in Gaza, you're not that useful tool anymore.
That was one of the things that was really hard for me to contend with personally, because obviously when I was at the Daily Wire, we were actually kind of in the midst of the same topic, really, right? So it's like you're talking about a race. Mm-hmm. You're saying, okay, this thing happened. So they were saying October 7th happened. BLM was saying the George Floyd thing happened. This is going to be the impetus now. And they were doing things that, in my view, still to this day, were just wrong. I don't care what happened in Minnesota. You don't have the right to go into Target and grab a flat screen TV, right? Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to do a documentary. I wanted to dive deeper on the topic. And it was round of applause from a Daily Wire. This is amazing. Give her a platform. Then I watched virtually the exact same thing, right? Using race as an excuse, saying, oh, well, we have to do this for Jews. You had this event, this event that happened, which was singular. And then they tried to extrapolate it. And I'm going, well, it's still wrong, right?
Right.
The law is the law. Like, morality is morality. Doesn't matter if a Black person does it or if a Jewish person does it. You don't get to rob and steal Palestinian homes.
Exactly.
And suddenly it was, you're an anti-Semite. You deserve to have nothing. You shouldn't even be allowed to travel to Australia because you are akin to Adolf Hitler.
That's crazy.
Same people that gave me the platform. And so it was a very tough pill to swallow.
So Australia banned you after you said that it's a genocide?
Yeah, that was the beginning of I was temporarily banned for ads from YouTube because they are organized online and started mass reporting my new channel. I got banned from Australia, got fired from the Daily Wire. They started putting pressure, Bench Bureau in particular, on, this is the Zionist lobby. It's not just in America, it's global.
Yeah.
And so I went from being a rock star to suddenly she is Adolf Hitler. Deserves nothing in her life because she has a moral principle. So you kind of look and you go, well, I have two options here. I can play the game, and do like the majority of people do, and just look the other way and say, oh, I don't really care about what's happening overseas.
Go along to get along.
Mm-hmm. Or you take a bold stand and you say, I'll rebuild it, because I don't want to have a house that's made because I'm silent on issues that.
This is very interesting because I did notice this. because that was one of the big reasons that I respected Candace Owens. Because for the longest time, I've always felt like this because I come from a family that's I wouldn't say pushes against Black culture or anything. Like, we have a deep Caribbean culture, Black culture, like I wouldn't say we push against it, but we're definitely different than what is, quote unquote typical. My brothers are like me. My mom is like me, or I should say we are like her, make more sense. We're like her. I always make the joke and I'll always say, oh yeah, I'm not Black like that. And it's a joke, but it's also, there's some truth in it. We're a little different in that way. And it's not a conscious thing that happened with us. It may have been conscious with my mother. She didn't want us to grow up in like hoods and like bad areas. She made sure that we would be like poor in a nicer area, a less dangerous area. Gotta lotion up. See, I do things for the culture. I'm still a part of the culture. Got to lotion up. Got to get in between the fingers. But I always respected that about her, that she was willing to call it out, because there's not many people that are, because that is the worst, especially when you're Black. It's the worst thing to go through. I think it's worse than if you're conservative or you're Republican and you start pushing against what your party feels. I think it's way worse than if you're part of the woke crowd and you start pushing against that, like we've seen happen with like Bill Maher and things like that. Anna as well has gone through a little bit of that, where she pushed back on the way California is. Actually, people started making hit pieces on her because she was like, California's a little out of control. And they were like, that's ridiculous. You should let people steal no matter what, and they shouldn't get locked up. She was, she spoke out against that. I think it's way worse when it's the Black community, because they went so hard on Candace. I mean, even people like T.I. is like a rapper, and he had all these things to say about Candace. They brought her on the Breakfast Club, and when they said God is good and she didn't know to say all the time back, they were like, oh, you're not really Black. You're not really, like, they go so hard, so hard. And then it's like revoking your Black card, and like there's like a whole bunch of other things. It's just crazy. And then they tell you that the people that you're defending hate you, and you're not really defending anyone. You're just calling out the absolute ridiculousness, the terribleness that happens in the community. It's rough. It's rough to have to call it out. Like when I do that about hip hop music, I talk about how, not even just demonic, it's just demoralizing. It's become something very terrible. And I think that is an organized effort. I don't think that happened naturally. So they start to really call you out. So the fact that she was able to do that and then just did the exact same thing to a different community, of course she lost everything. There's many people who have made the distinction that you can, in a hip hop song, say N-word, 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 violence, 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 N-word, violence, N-word. You can do that in a hip hop song. The second you were to say, bring that to another culture, all of a sudden you're a terrible person. All of a sudden, right? And that's exactly what happened with Candace. I watched it at the Daily Wire. They loved what she was doing to BLM. They loved it. And she was right. It wasn't like she was wrong. She was right. What everybody knows to be fact about them, she was saying when it was like absolutely terrible to say, that this is not a real thing. She was talking about it. I was talking about it too, and getting the same type of slack all the time. I was talking about how it's infiltrated. I was talking about how, it seems too organized, and, the riots that were going on, they were very organized. And for some reason, like, rioters know how to flank positions. I'm like, rioters shouldn't know how to flank. I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, what's going on? And then it became like a fist flag. And then all of a sudden it was like a fist and a rainbow. And then all of a sudden the fist was gone and it was just a rainbow. And that's how the protests would go. Every block that was destroyed. It was the weirdest thing. So the fact that she was calling that out was beautiful. But I watched the Daily Wire turn on her, because I got turned on to Candace again through the Daily Wire. I had a friend, Super Zio Ranger. And he was like, man, Candace, you got to check. Have you been watching Candace? I'm like, yeah, I know of her. I've seen her show. She used to have a show with Officer Tatum. I'm like, I've seen the show and everything. And then he was like, no, you got to watch this lady. She's like, he's like, this lady's going to be president. It was so crazy. Super Zio Ranger, this guy. He's like, she's going to be president. She is the greatest thing ever. And slowly, as she went on what she went on, how she evolved, he was like, this guy was like, I would marry her. She's the hottest woman I've ever seen. To she's actually ugly. You know what? And she's actually not smart. I thought she was smart. Nah, I don't even think she should be in politics. I literally watched it happen through a person. I was like, oh, this is such a weird change. I'm like, she seems like the same person, bro. And he's like, nah. And I was like, oh, I get what's happening. Okay. And I did say that. I had this exact argument with that friend. I was like, why was it okay when she was doing this to the Black community? Now it's not okay anymore. And he was like, oh, it's not like that. It's blah, 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 blah. It was so ridiculous. It was a very ridiculous thing. But yeah, let's just keep going here. I think she says a little bit more about it.
Actually impact my soul. I want to get into heaven.
Okay. I mean, there's that for sure. But on top of that, I don't think people who go along to get along realize they're going to get caught. Because audiences aren't stupid. And we might be in an environment where you can get away with either being silent or providing ridiculous excuses for why you're not speaking out against what's really going on, or why you're not, willing to tell the truth about what's going on. Eventually, there's going to be enough videos of dead children. Eventually, when it comes to the war in Iran, the gas prices and the inflation is going to be so bad that you're going to lose people, and people are going to wake up to what the reality is. And when they are personally harmed, when their own household is personally harmed by these policies that, the government pursues based on moneyed interests or foreign pressure, well, they're going to lose support from the people. And what do? The first thing they do is they engage in intimidation tactics, censorship. The more the, pro-Israel crowd.
Someone said, I think Jimmy hates Anna. Yeah, he does. He does. When I did it, go watch my interview with Jimmy. He talks about it. He mentions it a few times. I think it's like 3 different times he mentions them. And I can tell he wants to go into like a big rant about them. And it's not like I didn't let it. I just didn't. It wasn't in my questions. So I didn't really care for him to go into a rant about it. But like there were times where he would touch on it. Yeah, he really does not like this lady. I don't know if he still feels like that. Because they seem to be on the same side with a lot of topics. Jimmy Dore is who I'm talking about. But he may have changed. When I did an interview with him, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. So he might feel differently now. I have no idea, but he has a very tough past with the Young Turks. He used to be a part of the Young Turks. He was in it, and they had like this huge falling out, and it was really big. But yeah, he doesn't like her. But the whole thing of going along to get along, that is Benny Johnson. That was the first face that came to mind. As soon as she said going along to get along, that's exactly what he's doing. I really, out of everybody, I actually think that Officer Tatum believes a little bit of what he says. Not everything, but I think he believes a little bit. I think Benny believes nothing that he says. He used to work for BuzzFeed. I don't think he believes anything that he says at all. I think he just does it because it's a platform. He's built up a beast of a platform. You got to respect that. Someone said maximum forehead. Disrespectful to say that. Okay. He's just trying a new thing. Okay. Relax. Just relax. Maximum forehead. How dare you? Anyway. Benny Johnson, Benny Forehead, but yeah, it's interesting to watch people go along to get along. That's also why I've always respected Joe Rogan for the longest time, because he would never do that. He never really did that. And people would call him a fence sitter because of it, because he'd say things about the left, say things about the right. He'd jump on certain things that the left would say and be riding along with them. He'd jump on the certain things the right would say and be along with them. So I was always like, that's good. It's changed a little bit in the past couple of few Spotify money coming in. It's changed a little bit, but not too much. He's still, anyway, you guys know I love Joe. I'm working on taking the pic. We might take the picture down. I love Joe, you know. But yeah, going along to get along. That is the thing. That is where I talk about, and I've said it so many times, when you have, and again, this is Joe Rogan, you can be in front of the public and you can BS people for 1 hour in a podcast, 2 hours in a podcast. But once you get to hour 3, this is what he was saying. This is why he wanted to actually interview Harris. This is why he wanted to interview the president, the now president. This is why he wanted to do it, because he's like, you can BS people for little sound bites. You can BS people in short bursts, but you can't BS. Eventually, if you do a 3-hour podcast, 3.5 hour podcast, the real you is going to come out. And I've said it before. When you go along to get along, as Anna said, the mask ends up falling. If there enough years go by, the mask ends up falling. Ben Shapiro's a perfect example of that. Benny is just starting to enter that. For a long time, there's a huge conservative bunch. There's a huge Republican bunch that are now looking at Benny and going, I don't know about this guy. There's a huge portion of them. With Ben, it happened like a few years ago. I should say maybe like 3 years ago. It really started to happen with Ben, where people are just like, I saw this guy's reaction through 2020. It was garbage. I saw what he was saying then. I saw him say that, American citizens shouldn't have the right to retire. They heard him say that, if you think that you should be able to live and pass away in the same place as your parents and your grandparents and your great grandparents, you're delusional. You've watched him say thing after thing, and now it's just like, does he even really care about America? Becomes the question, That's hour 3. He's in hour 3. It's all coming out. I think Benny Johnson's in that. He's entering into that, and we're going to see more and more of it as time goes on. This guy's hollering, "All hail the king! All hail the king!" out of nowhere. It's so weird. Let me see here. Yeah, he's just hollering out, all hail the king out of nowhere for some reason, when it comes to the president, could go over the recent sonic boom here in Colombia. Hold on. All right. I'll look into that. Stop distracting me over there. But yeah, I digress. We don't have to focus in on that for too long, but Candace does end up talking about Kash Patel. Both of them end up talking about Kash Patel pretty ruthlessly. In fact, I have to say, a lot of ruthless behavior. This pen is garbage, but I love it because it says, "I saw Holtzman." If you see Brian Holtzman at the mothership, if you see him outside and ask him for a pen, he will give you a pen. He usually has a McDonald's bag that is filled with pens, and he's a hilarious comedian. So just to bring that up really quick, let's keep going here. They get into Kash Patel a little bit. But also, you know what? I should actually go back really quick. The fact that Candace is talking about feeling used, and the fact that she also talks about thinking that she had handlers around her, that people that were trying to handle her, probably also handling Charlie, is very interesting. And it means that she broke free. And I know there's a little segment of people who feel like she is like controlled opposition, but I think those are the markers. Those are the real markers. If you break away and all these things happen to you, and then you watch the person again, you watch them into their hour 2 of their career span, into their hour 3 of the podcast of their career span, you start to see who they actually are. She's also in her hour 3. She's been around for a long time, and you haven't really seen her go into anything that really benefits the administration, whatever administration. You haven't really seen that. You've seen her be like, okay, well, someone said butt stabber. That's Benny the butt stabber. That is a crazy name. Stop distracting me. Why'd you make me even say those words together like that? You haven't really seen her do anything like that. Going along to get along. You haven't seen that quite yet. She was very, very vocal about, the now president becoming president. She pushed hard, and she admitted that she was wrong. And she's admitted that she feels kind of politically homeless. and she's moved away from that, and she doesn't care if the right hates her and she doesn't care if the left hates her, and she's focused on, a few different topics, and that's it. But you haven't really seen anything that benefits the deep state, I would say, or benefits the GOP or the Democrats. You haven't really seen that much from her. Just to say, that's my thinking. That's how I'm looking at it. Because I don't follow anybody just blindly. I do watch what they do, and I watch pretty closely. I don't know if you can tell. When I'm zoned in on someone, I watch them very, 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 very closely. Actually, word after word, timestamp after timestamp. So I'll let you know if anything happens with her. 100%. Yeah. Exactly. Someone says she's getting attacked too much. She's getting attacked way too much. And then other people are like, well, why can she say what she says on YouTube? You know why? You know why she can say what she says on YouTube? I've heard a lot of people say this. It's because she has sponsors. That's why she can keep going, because she has sponsors. As you can see, every show, there's a bunch of sponsors. And you may not like those ad reads, but those ad reads make it so she can say whatever she wants. She's not held to the algorithm. She just gets to say things, and people get to grab on, and they get to come for their appointment viewing whenever she has her live streams. That's what makes it so she can say what she says. And then also her website. Let's keep going, though. Let's keep going. The next thing is Kash Patel. Kash Patel corrupt. That's kind of crazy. I don't know, guys. She might be off on this one. Maybe I should, maybe I spoke too soon about everything I just said. Maybe I just spoke too soon. I mean, Kash Patel corrupt. I don't know about that. Well, I mean, let's hear it out, but I don't know. You think he's corrupt, guys? Kash? You think cross-eyed Kash Patel, dipped in honey, listening to country music 24/7 is corrupt? Coming from Vegas? What? Huh? I can't believe it. Anyway, let's hear him out really quick.
These Eastern European women were coming in. Those are the questions that I have, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Do I think he's also protecting his donors? Absolutely.
Totally.
Do I think Trump is his own man? Obviously not. Miriam Adelson did a deal with him, she kind of outright purchased the White House.
I mean, he said it himself.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the thing that I guess I appreciate about Trump, if you want to put it that way. I mean, I don't know if it's due to lack of sophistication or if it's just that he can't help himself, but he just says it. He just says it. And so I choose to believe him when he says that, Miriam Adelson loves Israel more than the United States, that she's got a lot of money, that she, is a big donor. Like, I mean, he's communicating to us, listen, I'm doing what I'm doing because she bought me.
But that's also, by the way, what I think is wrong with Kash Patel. He's from Las Vegas. Las Vegas.
Just to touch on what she just said about the now prez, right? I was saying something similar to this before, like a few months ago. I was like, it seems like, because they were talking about whether or not he's corrupt and his corruption and whatnot, talking about the president. And I was like, the guy's like an old school business guy from New York. And like an old school business guy from New York is just like, how much and what do you want? And he kind of has that, it seems like he kind of has that same mentality going into the presidency. He's just like, what do you want? I need this much. Are you going to give me that much? Okay, then what do you want in exchange? Okay. All right. I think we can make that happen. And I think he just really likes to make deals. And it's about what he wants more than, most other things. And he just kind of goes, all right, how much? $250 million? All right. What do you want? Huh? Oh, yeah. Over in the Middle East. Okay, fine, whatever. And he's just like, I think it's like that simple. I don't even think it's like that crazy. People are talking about him being like a Trojan horse. I don't even know if it's that. I think he's just like, how much? What's your name? Larry Ellison? What's your name? Sam Altman. Mark Zuckerberg? Well, how much are you going to pledge? 500 billion? Okay. What do you want? Data centers. Okay. Aren't you already building data centers? Oh, you just want less red tape. All right, whatever. Fine. No problem. 500 billion, right? With a B? Okay. Let's do it. Like I feel like it's like that simple. He's like, whatever. How much? I don't care. Who are you guys? You guys are tech guys? Okay. You want to be a part of a panel that dictates what's going to happen with AI? Fine. I don't care. Bring your friends. As long as they have money. I think it's really that simple with him. I really do. I don't think it's some crazy like behind it. Like I think he's just like, how much we making here? If my family's walking away, potentially being trillionaires, let's do it. What are we talking about here? He's just like, okay, is there gonna be real estate? There is. Gaza's where? It's beside an ocean. Really? It's like beachfront. That's beachfront property. Are you for real? Okay. Do it. I don't know. Wipe them out. I don't know. Do whatever you got to do. Can I get I get hotels. I want 5 hotels. I can have 5. Okay. Done. Like, I think it's that simple. He's just like, okay. And then I want them to look like the ones in New York. It's going to be beachfront. All right. Well, go ahead. Do what you got to do. You know, I think it's that simple. Anyway, let's keep going. This is where they start talking about Kash Patel. And I did not know Kash Patel came from Vegas. I am a realtor. See? Yeah. No, yeah. And I kind of agree with him, you know, some oceanfront property. I don't know. That's, you know, oceanfront property is it's hard to come by nowadays, especially in the Middle East. I mean, anyway, this is where they start talking about Kash Patel. I didn't know he was from Vegas. That makes me look at him completely different.
Vegas is a gambling empire. That's it. They own Vegas. So when I see people coming out of Vegas, my immediate assumption is, well, you're already, if you made it up the chain in Vegas, you've already done some deals. Allegedly, my opinion. But when I was like, Kash Patel's from Las Vegas, there's no, of course, obviously he's corrupt. You don't get ahead in Las Vegas because you're like a good guy.
Corrupt. Like his behavior makes that obvious.
Right.
What do you think about the reporting about his like alcohol use? Do you think that's like an attempt to smear him so it's easier to get rid of him?
I think he drinks. I think it's very stupid for someone like The Atlantic to publish that. It's just, I mean, they're too well known to be like, I'm just going to publish a piece. It's way too specific. And his reaction, he's so vociferous about it. It was like too much. And he just kind of strikes me as, when I was reading some of the stories, I was like, they're way too specific. And I do know that people don't like him. So they would leak those sorts of stories.
Right.
If The Atlantic if their response is, we are prepared to defend ourselves in court, then they have something. It's the same way where everyone is sue Candace. I have been meticulous about making sure that I am saving every source, every conversation. I don't take an unnecessary risk. I don't want to be sued and then proven an idiot by being like, oh, well, she was just coming up with fantasy and nothing was driving this. So
right, of course,
they are not independent. They have people that they have to rely upon. They have to have those legal teams. They did not publish that article and put a target on their back from the FBI director on the basis of just wanting to like LOL publish. That's my read on the situation. Yeah. And he is erratic. There's something about him that feels erratic. And even
I should give you a little breakdown for those of you that don't know what The Atlantic said. The Atlantic posts an article. It might be behind a paywall, but I can tell you about it. And they were just talking about Kash Patel potentially having a drinking problem, like getting drunk a lot, basically. I don't know if that's true. That's what they said. I think he threatened to sue. And they actually said, we are willing to defend ourselves in court about the whole thing, which means that they have some kind of inner information, feeling like they can prove what they are saying. So as you can see here, the Kash Patel, he has filed a $250 million defamation suit against The Atlantic and reporter Sarah Fitzpatrick over an article alleging excessive drinking, unexplained absences, and erratic behavior that posed a national risk. It was posted in April 2026. The report cited over 24 anonymous sources claiming Patel was often unreachable and intoxicated. You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny about this? I used to work with a guy who looked like Kash Patel. Same height, same everything, same type of demeanor. And this guy was exactly what they're describing. He would just be gone. he would just be rolling blunts and doing other things, and he would just be gone out of nowhere. He'd come back all lit up, and it was nuts. It was such a nutty experience. Is when we were working like right beside, I think we were working right beside Mitt Romney's cottage. It was really crazy. Really interesting, huge cottage, beautiful place. It was a very rich place we were in. And this guy was just gone all the time. So when I imagine Kash Patel, I always think of this guy. I won't say his name, but I always think of this guy. And this guy was a dirtbag. It was crazy. Exactly what you think Hollywood producers would be. It's exactly what he was to a T. He was the worst, the absolute worst. Anyway, I always think of that guy. Always, every single time I hear about Kash Patel, his erratic behavior. I've seen it before. I've seen behavior like that before many times. Published saw he's intoxicated, absent, including an incident where security requested breaching equipment to enter his locked room. Patel denies the allegations as a malicious hit piece, while The Atlantic stands by its reporting and vows to defend itself against the meritless lawsuit. So this is them saying, hey, man, we really have these sources. We're not making this up. We're not TMZ. We're actually going to defend ourselves. Legal and investigative escalations to win the defamation suit. Patel must prove actual malice, meaning the publisher knew the claims were false or acted with reckless disregard. People always forget that part with, all the people who like want Candace sued and defamation and this and that, AKA like the Brian Harpole lawsuit. He's going to have to prove that she was actually malicious with what she was doing. And he's not going to be able to. Meanwhile, the FBI reportedly opened a criminal leak investigation into Fitzpatrick. Wow. To identify the anonymous sources. Wow. Holy, a move critics describe as an unprecedented probe targeting a journalist following the lawsuit. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. This sounds crazy. For the Bureau to be doing this at the request of the director, this is like J. Edgar Hoover type stuff. Fitzpatrick stated she was inundated with new information corroborating her original story. Nuts. I did not think I would dive this deep into it. Additional controversy, subsequent reporting revealed Patel distributed personalized bourbon bottles engraved with cash. Cash with a dollar sign? Yeah. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Kash Patel with a dollar sign, bureau director, to staff and civilians while on official business. That's what he was doing. What's his name? Tyler? Okay, all good. No, I told Charlie I'd see him in Valhalla. Boys, get over here. Check this bottle out. Yeah, don't even worry about it. 33 hours, we got him. Check this bottle out. Check it out. Touch that engraving. That's real engraving right there. You ever seen anything like this? Go ahead and crack that bad boy open. No, I got a whole case of them. Go ahead and crack that bad boy open. Go ahead. Take a little swig. Give me a little bit. I will see you in Valhalla, boys. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. On official business? Some of these politicians, you think Hunter Biden was the only one wilding out, going to Russia, going crazy? You think he was the only one doing that? Come on. There's a personality type, like there's a personality type, the UFC fighters in general, boxers. There's a personality type. There's a personality type that people want to be in politics. And it's a wild personality type. It's not like a regular person. The White House has defended Patel, with the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, stating he remains a critical player in the administration despite the mounting controversies. Of course, he's the perfect guy. If any of this is true, any of it, they're like, oh, we got to keep this guy forever. This is perfect. He comes up. Oh, I've been having I've been having doubts about what happened with Charlie. You guys know what I mean. I don't like what happened with me and Joe Kent. And Joe might have been right. I was looking into here you go. Here's a video of you doing something crazy when you were blackout drunk. You want to rethink what you're saying here, son? Oh, how did you guys? When did I get blackout? You drank 3 of those bottles with your name on them. Oh, we drank all 3 of those. Oh my God, that bourbon is too smooth. Okay, I'll go back to work. That's why Dan really quit. He couldn't keep up with Cash. Cash was standing on desks. He was like, "Whoa, let's go. Dan, get in here. My deputy. I don't know if you're black or Italian or what, buddy. I have no idea. I can't tell. You look like RoboCop to me. But I know one thing. I want RoboCop to take a swig. And Dan's just like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. We can't do this all night, Cash. I haven't seen my wife. I have a life outside of here. Get inside that office. He arrives at the bureau in the morning. There's just 2 shot glasses. Cash is just like, I've been up all night. Sit down. I've been up all night. And what we're going to do, we're going to finish this bottle. I'm going to crack it right now. Let's go. Come on, Dan. This is what it's about. I'll see you in Valhalla. Let's go. 33 shots. Let's go. 33 each. Let's go, I said. Come on. Keep going. Dan was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm kidding. Come on. It's fun to hear, but not true. Kash Patel remains a critical player in the administration. You heard what she said. She's never made up things before. She hasn't. She's a nice lady. Congratulations on the baby. I don't know if she's had the baby. I think she's having the baby. Congratulations to her. Babies are wonderful. But yeah, that's Kash Patel. Anyways, I got put on a detour. I'm sorry, guys. We took a little detour there. My apologies. Let's get back into the clip. We're talking about Kash Patel here.
The weird tweet about my girlfriend's a country music sensation. You got to be a couple of cocktails in, right? I mean, I don't think, I hope that actually helps him, actually. I don't think it's defamation. I think that is the best case scenario. It's like, I was just a few cocktails in. Yeah, that's why I tweeted it. Because if you did it sober, then I have some bigger questions, know, about your competence.
I mean, the biggest thing for me was, you like to get drunk in DC around a bunch of these people that I wouldn't want to be in a room with, to be honest with you. I don't want to spend my free time with these people at all. But then on top of that, to make yourself vulnerable by getting wasted, that's so crazy.
The hockey thing.
Crazy. Crazy. And people defended him on that. He's celebrating US won, whatever. And okay, fine, whatever. But now in retrospect, when you realize that he clearly has a drinking problem.
I think that was very strange. It's just, you can celebrate, you can high five, but it was just it just felt very frat boy about it. It was very frat boy.
With the backdrop of how poorly he's doing his job. I mean, I one thing that really stood out to me was the guy who first attempted to assassinate Donald Trump. I'm forgetting his name right now. I don't know why, but
those were 3 assassination attempts in. Yeah, I think his name is Matthew Crooks.
Yes, perfect. Okay, Matthew Crooks. So Tucker did this really great special.
I can't wait to play the clip. This person's like, Kash played hockey. I can't wait. I hope I can find it. I hope I can find the clip. I hope I can find it. Shout out to Tinfoil. What is this? Tinfoil something or other? Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. Kash is a hockey bro. 100%, guys. I get it. 100%. Hockey celebration. Oh my gosh, I understand completely. I understand. Don't worry. I already added it. You don't have to spam it. Tinfoil, Miss Diana. Relax. Don't worry. I already put it up on the screen for everybody to see. Oh man, why can't I find it? Oh gosh. They're not show. Wow, it's gone. Wow, it's so buried. That's nuts. It's so buried. It's just gone. There it is. This person. Oh man, where's the actual celebration though? Is this it? Nah, this isn't it. No, that's not it either. Come, there we go. Let's go. Let's go. What are we talking about here? Does it have sound? Give me some sound. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. He's a hockey bro. Hey man, hey, listen, I get it. I get it. He's a hockey bro. I understand. He played hockey. That's like being like, that's like talking about Hunter Biden being like, what? He just Hunter Biden, he loves crack. What's the big deal? I don't understand. He's twerking with this Russian lady of the night. This is what he does. This is kind of his thing. It's always been his thing. I get it. But it looks insane. Okay. And then you have to understand, if the Atlantic brings this clip to that lawsuit, if this clip plays in the courtroom, he's going to have to answer about it. He's going to have to be like, well, you have to understand, I'm a hockey bro. I'm actually a hockey bro. I actually played hockey quite a bit, actually. And they're going to be like, I respect that, Mr. Patel. But why are you getting wasted with a bunch of people in the locker room? He's like, well, you clearly don't understand the dynamics of hockey. Can I explain? Can I finish? You don't understand the dynamics of hockey. Okay. It's an unwritten rule that hockey players get to fight. It's also an unwritten rule that when you win, you smash beers inside the locker room. That is an unwritten rule. Can anybody back me up on this? Anybody? Where's Dan? Can anybody? I don't know, man. We'll see. You think he drinks Ray and Nephew? Oh, see, you know about my Caribbean heritage. If I think if anybody can handle that, I feel like he could. He seems erratic. He does seem erratic. I don't know why. Some people just have that energy, you know? Like I watch Jesse on Fire. I watch him live sometimes. And sometimes the comments that he gets are so insulting. It's crazy. People are like, you did Adderall this morning. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, this is just how I am. And it's like, that's just how he is. Some people just have that energy. But Jesse has like a fun, like, hey, what's going on, guys? He has like that energy. Cash Patel has like what did you do? Did you seem a little shifty? Did you do something? And he's like, huh? What? What? No, I didn't do anything. So no, I'm not. Yeah, his eyes start going back and forth. He's like a darker erratic energy. It's an erratic energy that people don't like. It's not golden retriever energy. You know what I mean? Some people have golden retriever energy, and that's erratic. That's all over the place. And it's fun. You like it. He doesn't have that. He has a different type of erratic energy. He has an erratic energy where it's like, this guy could possibly do anything. I don't know about this guy, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, Jesse's lives are funny. It's very funny. Very funny the way some people comment on his stuff. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with these people? Why are they getting at him like this? And then it makes me understand why you guys are actually the sweetest, best community. I understand why people say that now. You guys are the best. Okay. Just truly, just incredible. So I get it now. So much so. So thank you guys for being yourselves. You guys are incredible. But yeah, that's Cash Patel, going nuts in the hockey thing. Some people did defend it, just like some people tried to defend it here, talking about him just being a hockey bro and whatnot. And I get it. I do get it. I don't drink alcohol. I've never liked alcohol. But is Jesse a veteran? I actually don't know. I don't know. he seems like one to me. That's just me being around a bunch of vets before, like, not all the time, but like meeting a bunch. He seems like it, but I don't actually know. That's one thing I never asked him in our interview. We sat down for 3.5 hours. I completely forgot to ask that question. So someone says no, he's not. There's your answer. Anyway, let's keep going here with the Kash Patel stuff.
On the lack of investigation into that and how much we were lied to by our FBI, like the fact that the FBI told us that, oh, there's no online trail of this guy. And it turns out, no, he was actually pretty active online. Why did you lie to us about it? And then he played a video of Kash Patel testifying about it in front of a congressional committee. And Patel was like, I can't disclose that information because there's a trial, except there isn't a trial. Crooks is dead. So, like we want to learn more about his motives, like where is he from? How did this happen? What were the security failures? How come no one in the Secret Service got fired over this? We're not getting any answers. So I look at our government, I'm just like, this is all kabuki theater, and these people don't represent us. They don't care about our safety. They don't care about our country. They don't care about the injustices that get carried out against, some of the biggest public figures in the country. So like, how the hell am I supposed to trust this government? And it makes me increasingly angry, to be honest with you, when you see how much of our money, how much of our earnings goes toward a government that squanders it.
I would push back on your point that Kash Patel isn't doing his job. I think he is.
Interesting.
I think that is his job.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why he is in there. They put him in there and they tell him what to do. And it is to look the other way and to come up with excuses. I think he is executing his job perfectly.
Well, he hasn't been fired yet.
Yeah.
So
his job is being executed perfectly. His job is to protect the elites. And shame on us for thinking that his job is to make sure justice is served. And he paid all that lip service. If I get in there day one, here's what's going to happen. None of that's happened because
he did that. What she just said, day one, and all these things that he said, man. Yeah, I don't even want to go and find the video. I've made like multiple videos about Kash Patel and how great it's going to be when he gets in that position and what's going to happen, how much change is going to happen right away. Day one, clips of him saying day one with Glenn Beck, day one, all these different podcasts, Stu Peters, day one, kept on saying it. He is just as much. I saw somebody's talking about bait and switch when you're talking about the president. He's just as much of a bait and switch, if not more, than the president. If not more, because you kind of understood with the president, like Anna was saying, it was like, oh, well, it's just, at least he says it out loud. He's just very open about things. If you've come to make a deal, he's ready to make a deal. With Kash, it was completely different. It was like, this is what I'm going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this. I have a list of people who need to be arrested. I will have the power to do it, and I will do it. It was like, that was it. That's exactly what he was saying. There was no I'll see. There was no maybe. There was none of that. He was like, I am going to get this done. Watch and see. As soon as I get day one, he kept saying day one, I get confirmed. That's it. There was no one who was a bigger bait and switch than Kash. Kash he just became the swamp. It was crazy. It was like he was a nice waterbed, and we were all just like, oh, this waterbed's great. And then all of a sudden the waterbed sprung a leak, and you're like, well, there's swamp water inside this waterbed. That's why it smelled in here the whole time. Guys, what are we going to do? How are we going to clean this up? There's no cleaning it up. There's no cleaning it up. It's crazy, Anyway. Don't let me get sidetracked talking about swamp and water beds and stuff.
He went in there in the same way that Trump went in there. I don't know who their boss is. I actually think both of them have the same boss, if I'm being frank.
Yeah.
They both answer to Vegas and Tel Aviv, but it's clear to me that he is doing a great job for the people that he actually works for.
Yeah.
And I obviously have a lot of resentment, particularly for Kash Patel, because of the Charlie Kirk situation, looking at what he has done, the fact that he won't hand over the documents and the theater of that, the theater of how they came out. And oh gosh, it makes me so sick. You have no idea how sick it all makes me to reflect upon just the fact that Charlie empowered these people. Like that, it makes me sick.
Well, I mean, look, I started watching, I had never watched your show until after he was assassinated, because I'm like, there there's something off, and she knew him better than anyone else in the media. So let me see what she's got. But I've got
So we're gonna get into this in a second. Get into the whole Charlie Kirk part. There is going to be a part that I skip over, because I've already shown it. I don't know. I showed it in a pre-recorded video that released over the weekend or maybe like early last week. So I don't want there to be too much overlap, too much repeat. But you know, I will show what's needed and I'll skip over what's not needed. Just in terms of the recording, there's a certain part where they talk about the recording. I made a video that I know a lot of people have seen about the video and the girl who actually came up with where the video came from. I don't know if a lot of you guys seen that. I'm starting to notice that the live stream crowd is a little different than the pre-recorded crowd. So a lot of you may not have seen the video that I'm talking about, but I'll try to make it all work. Let's jump into that part where they start talking about what happened to Charlie and why Candace is so sick about the whole thing. Which is so true. I mean, you know, I think Hunter Biden, you know, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but Hunter Biden said it best. It's not just the people that he was friends with. It was the people that he made. He made the people. He made the people. He made sure that they got in position. I mean, all of them. He made sure. Why hasn't RFK talked about this? RFK knows the markings of all this. He knows his father and uncle cases up and down. Why hasn't he talked about this? Why is Kash Patel blocking things? Why did Dan Bongino not stand up more? Why didn't the president actually talk about it and have a press conference about the whole thing and put all the resources towards it? Why didn't the president's son, Don Jr., talk about this more? I mean, it was nuts. So many of them. Why did JD Vance? Charlie made sure JD and the now president met. He made sure they connected. He made sure RFK and him connected, which brought along the Maha crowd, which brought along a huge voter block. What? Didn't they all care about Charlie? Like he did make them. He really did. He really made sure everything fell into place. It was him behind the scenes the whole time. You know, funny enough, the president actually thanks Joe Rogan. You know, the first time he saw him after the election, he shook his hand and said, "You won me the election." Brought Joe in close and said, "You won me the election." But that wasn't true. It was Charlie. Charlie won him the election. It's nuts. Even Gavin Newsom, when Gavin and Charlie sat down together on Gavin's podcast, which I did not like that Charlie did. I was very upset about that because he taught Gavin so much. For Gavin to run for president and know exactly what to do. And Gavin might actually do that now. But even Gavin knew. He's like, "You won him the presidency." He's like, "You did it through the young people." And Charlie was like, "Oh, yeah, I appreciate, you know." But Charlie would always be like, "No, you know, the president did it. His values did it. You know, America did that." But even Gavin knew. I don't know. I don't get it. Let's keep going here. So this is what we are talking about here. Let's switch over. I love that they did this. I would love to see a show where these two just like sit down and just give a quick breakdown of everything that's going on in politics. Just a quick breakdown, a quick 40-minute show once a week. I think that would be great. I think it would be great. I don't even watch Anna like that. I don't even watch Anna all that much, but I do like what I've seen. I think it would be a very interesting little podcast if they did that over and over and over again for weeks. I know Patrick Bet-David tried to sign her up to have a show where she sat down with a bunch of women. I think that show fell through. Pretty sure. I don't think they're doing it anymore, but I think her and Candace would be a great combination. Anyway, let's keep going.
I had never watched your show until after he was assassinated, because I'm like, there's something off, and she knew him better than anyone else in the media. So let me see what she's got. But I've got so much going on, and it was hard to follow your investigation because there were so many moving parts, and I got to produce a show. And so I just kind of like dropped off a little bit. But what were you saying about Kash Patel's refusal to hand over documents? I don't know about that.
So the trial, I'm obviously on top of it because I really do think that what they're so angry about right now more broadly speaking, is that we're staying focused on things. We are designed to be an ADHD culture.
That's true.
Charlie died yesterday. I forgive him. Okay, everybody move on. We're all good. Well, let's move on. She's moved on. Everyone, forget about it. Epstein files. Oh, who are we talking about? The Epstein files. Okay, good. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, Trump says it's good, and you're MAGA, right? Here's some red meat. You're MAGA. Trump said it.
Here's
Lancer the king. Yeah. And we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And with this, I was like, I am not moving on from this. And so
the midterms.
Exactly. We've signed up. We're getting the documents, obviously, but the midterms. And in this particular case, so they obviously I sat down with Erica and she explained to me they were sort of moving towards this May date, or where he hasn't even entered into plea yet, to be clear. And so in May, they're supposed to have this hearing, and there's limited discovery in that time frame, because one of the questions I asked Erica sincerely was, you're communicating to the public that you believe.
I gotta just interrupt for a quick second. Someone said, do you notice Tim Dillon avoids reporting on Candace lately? Tim Dillon's not a reporter. Tim Dillon's a comedian. He's not a reporter. He talks about what he can make funny. I know you like him. You get information from him like you get information from me. We're comedians, not reporters. So you got to find, you can come here and you'll hear all about Candace. He's doing what's funny to him. He's not a reporter. Very, very, you got to remember though, it's a important distinction. Comedians have always been the truth tellers. Someone says today's truth tellers. They've always been the truth tellers, but we are not reporters. We are looking at situations and we're trying to find what's funny. How can we make this dark thing funny? And Tim Dillon has been smashing that from episode 1. I mean, it's crazy how good he is at it. I mean, but just a little distinction there. He's not going to bring you all the news that you want. He's going to bring you what stands out to him the most. That's what comedians do. That's what comedians do more than anything. What stands out to them the most is what they're going to bring to you. Anyway, let's keep going here.
Believe they have the right guy. So my assumption when she was saying that to Barry Weiss was that obviously she has access to more information than we have. Like, as she's involved in the case, she's listed as a victim on the case. Like, she can see stuff that we can't see. Maybe it's literally a clear video of Tyler Robinson coming out and shooting Charlie, like open to that. And then when I sat down with her, she was like, oh no, I don't have anything more than the public has, because now what happens is we have to move towards this May date, and the SBI, which is the Bureau of Investigations in Utah, is the state investigations in Utah. They're going to go now find all this evidence that Tyler Robinson did it. And Tyler Robinson, then they presented that to Tyler Robinson's team, and they then build their sort of defense leading to this May date. Well, it turns out that Tyler Robinson's team files a document and says, we need to move this date because we have been asking for Kash Patel, who should not even be involved in this case, mind you, it's a state case, to release the information to us, to give us these documents to his defense. So they're like, they haven't even given it to Utah. Forget SBI. They hasn't given it to the SBI. The defense doesn't have it. And they're like, how are we going to have this hearing when they're going to get up there and essentially put on a show trial and say, Your Honor, look at these messages, where they're like, we don't even know those messages are real.
That's crazy.
Right? So imagine we're moving toward this date, and all they have is what Kash Patel told us in the first 48 hours, but they will not give them the discovery on that. They won't give them. So like if I say, Anna texted me and said she did it, and that they want to say that, blah, blah, blah. She hasn't even been able, the defense has not even been able to access Tyler Robinson's phone. They haven't been able to see the gun. Nothing.
Wow.
And what's holding that up?
That is weird. And also, what's up with the arbitrary May date? Right.
Yeah. And that was the thing. They fought back immediately because they were like, we want to make sure that we get the discovery that we're asking for. And the judge was like, oh, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. By then in May, if we need to bump it, we will. And they all kind of agreed to that. And now that May is upon us, Erica's team, because she's a listed victim. So when I say Erica's team, I mean literally she's a victim in this case, is fighting them. They're like, no, we want to keep the May date. And I'm like, so why would you want to keep the May date? And I instantly alerted the public to that. I'm like, they are not giving them. We have no idea of these shady messages. Did Kash Patel, after a few beers, type them up? We don't know. We can't say no.
That's so weird. You know what? So when it comes to Erica's behavior, I will admit, some of her behavior is odd, right? And off-putting. And I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I wonder if, her insistence that it's Tyler Robinson and nothing else is shady and like we need to pursue this prosecution, it's definitely him. I wonder if it's because, you know, when a family member of yours gets murdered or killed or harmed in some way, usually the family members want closure so badly that they, as soon as there's a suspect, they want that suspect to be the guilty one, and they just go for it full force. And maybe that's what's informing her decisions to kind of
You know, I used to talk about this early on, you know, months ago, like 8 months ago, that sometimes people just need that closure, and they just need the closure. And I think it's not just Erica who got like that, or potentially got like that, because since I've, you know, had that opinion, a lot has come out about Erica. But I think a lot of the public felt that way. Like they just kind of wanted the closure. They don't want the obsessive, like they don't want to have to believe that the person potentially got away. They don't want to have to believe that the politicians that they believed in might have not had something to do with it, but are keeping a little tight-lipped purposely. They don't want to believe that possibly a foreign nation did it. Like if you take everything that we've discussed in regards to the investigation, it gets very dark. You know, I make it funny. You know, Baron will make it funny. You know, Candace is pretty good too, with sense of humor. But it gets very dark what is being covered and talked about. And a lot of people don't want that. There's a lot of you guys who are like, yeah, give me that. I want that because that's truth. But there's a lot of people who are like, I just want this to be done. Like, that's what I need. My brain needs to just have a closed, just close off the loop so I can move on to the next thing. Please and thank you. And Tyler Robinson was that for so many people. He was exactly that for so many people. You know, Erica looking up and saying, I forgive him. People were just like, done deal. And he'll be dead whenever this trial's done. And that's all I need. Perfect. You know, which is wild, you know. I saw her cry on stage. That young kid's going to die. Perfect ending to a story for me. That's how some people feel. So, yeah, I understand what Anna's saying here. But at the same time, Anna's getting Candace pilled right now in terms of the Charlie Kirk investigation. That's what's happening in this little segment here.
Pursue it the way that she's pursuing it, I don't know. But I will say this. I don't know how it would behave, to be honest. Like, I just think about how much I love my husband, and I don't think anyone would see me for a few years. Like, I just would not be able to go public. I wouldn't be able to have the strength to even talk in public about anything. And so that stood out to me about her, but also she's a different person than me. So I just, people do grieve differently. I just know that the case itself has a few elements to it that raise some eyebrows. Everyone in the media that's critical of you is like so vociferous that it kind of gave me the idea that like the general public isn't with you, until I told female family members of mine that I'm doing your show. And they're just like, oh my God, I love Candace. I watch her every day. And I'm like, really? You're not mad at her because of the whole Erica thing? They're like, no. And I'm like, really? Like, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, I love this. Just a quick Joe interruption. Coach, you're a family man with children. You can't be serious when you say pride is a good thing. This isn't Babylon. We're supposed to be Christian country. There's no place for pride. Oh, how far over your head did the joke go? Oh man, how far over your head did the joke go? Okay, well, I hope you end up catching up with the rest of us. That joke was far over your head. Perhaps if someone in the crowd can hand this person a ladder so they can actually reach up to where the joke is. The joke is so far over their head. I mean, this is like Ben Shapiro reaching for something on a regular sized counter. The joke is just so far over their head that they just can't get. Hopefully there's somebody in the crowd that's willing to go like this and let you get a leg up so you can reach up and catch the joke. I hope that somebody's willing to do that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, have fun. What we used to say back in the 90s? Burn. Oh, you got to coach burn. Anyway, let's keep going. So immature of me. Anyway.
So yeah, clearly what you're seeing is something. I mean, the numbers in your show, like, it's very highly viewed. Okay. So obviously the people agree with you that there's something off. And I agree with you that there's something off. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. And I think that what you're describing is the process that we all went through, because you don't want to even go down that route. You're like, maybe
Totally.
it's this. Maybe in my head, I was like, maybe she's being blackmailed. Maybe she's scared they're going to kill her. Maybe like you said, she just wants a quick conclusion to all of this. Maybe she's still in shell shock and is actually not controlling anything at Turning Point, was my initial suspicion. And just on paper, she's CEO, but she's actually just home crying every day. And like behind the scenes, like, Taylor or Justin. I went that whole thing. And for me, I never wanted to arrive at Erica being suspicious. I abstained from the like, oh, she's wearing hot pants with JD Vance. None of that matters to me. Because I don't think people understand. I needed it as a part of my grieving process not to accept that plausibility, because then for me, beyond just having lost Charlie and having to wake up to, and I then had to wake up to the idea that Trump betrayed him in a way, and Kash Patel, everyone is betraying him in not seeking more investigation. What I had to go through to pursue that, I had to grieve again, right? Because I knew how much Charlie wanted love. Like, I have these messages, like I was helping Charlie draft text messages and what should I say? So I had to grieve again. And go, okay, I need to like really just follow the facts here. And that's all I've done. And it's landed me at, she's remarkably suspicious, not because of the way she dresses, not because of whether or not she's crying enough. All of that kind of paints a picture that makes people uncomfortable, but just objective lies that I can't comprehend. Why would you lie and tell the public? And I think for me, the most explosive one that no one wants to address by calling me a monster. Why would you lie and say that the surgeon told you or told Andrew that he had a Superman neck and all of this stuff that objectively did not come from the surgeon? It came from Erica. And why would you lie and tell me that Andrew went rogue and sent that message when you did it with him? I can't make sense of that. A source, a source, and I trust the source. And obviously that's a strong statement to make. And so when Erica first said to me, I also didn't believe her, right? So when she said, I said, what's the Superman neck? And she said, oh, well, Andrew went rogue. And then I said, the surgeon went rogue though and talked, the surgeon violated HIPAA and Andrew went rogue.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And beyond having the conversation, Andrew then tweeted without your permission. Like, that's a lot to have had to happen. I don't believe that the surgeon violated HIPAA and spoke to Andrew without your permission. And I said that to her face. I said, it's a tough one for me, but okay. And then I got the information that no, Erica actually called the surgeon. It's a 3-way call, and she wanted to know what to tell the public about why the bullet didn't go through. And that Superman neck thing came from her. So the public was told from Andrew's tweet.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, I can't, somebody just defend it. Somebody just tell me why that shouldn't completely unnerve me. Donors, another huge one.
It's pretty crazy. I brought this up before, but it was like she called the surgeon. They called the surgeon because they wanted to figure out what to tell the public. And I was like, why do you even care? Like, your husband passed away. Why would you even care what the public even thinks about entry or exit or anything? Like, who cares? You just lost your husband. You don't have to answer anybody's questions. Like, I mean, truthfully, right? You don't really have to answer at all. You could have just been like, whatever, guys. And on top of that, why would you feel like you even needed to answer? Right? Why would Turning Point even feel like they needed to answer on an exit or entry wound at all? It kind of just makes you feel like they were involved in the propaganda aspect the entire time. Kind of makes you feel that way. Not true, though. Not true. They're all good, upstanding people. I know so. That's why they told us that he had a neck made of steel. It was so we could all have the closure, and that is part of it. Not like in a loving way of closure, in a stop asking questions way of closure. Like, we have this question answered. Really weird, though. Really weird. I even talked about this when Candace first brought it up. I was like, Andrew did all this? And I made that joke about Erica throwing him under the bus whenever she has an opportunity to, because she's just like, whatever, it's Andrew, it's fine. Like, you take the blame. Because none of it makes sense. It's so sad. It's so sad. You know, and then Candace says this part, you know, like, why shouldn't that unnerve me? It kind of did with everybody. And again, it's so weird because then the regular actors, the regular minions came out and they were like, this is nonsense. This is nonsense what Candace is saying. And then it actually turned out to be true. And then they just ignored it, you know? And still to this day, they're like, she's proven nothing. There's nothing that Candace has proven, not one thing whatsoever at all. It's so crazy.
And we're like, these are my two biggest things. Donors saying that video that or hasn't existed yet, the AI, alleged AI of Charlie saying, I appoint Erica to be the CEO. Well, Erica told me that he said that at an Aspen event. I was like, okay, great. Well, the Aspen people who were at the event said that never happened.
What?
These are the Turning Point USA donors.
That right there, you see that? That's her getting Candace pilled. You hear how low, you hear how high she said that? She said that very loudly. This is her getting Candace pilled right here. She said, what? She became one of us. Right in that moment, she became a mommy sleuth. That's it. That's it. She's on board now. She's on board now. Right as she said that, and she said, what? She's in. She's locked in with us, ladies and gentlemen. Catch her in the chat when Candace goes live. She's in. She is 100% in with us.
Who have contacted me and said, Candace, that is AI. He did not say that.
What?
Now, they have alleged that they have the video of that. Why do they only play the audio? And then when I said, hey, guys, this is not normal. It doesn't actually really sound like Charlie. The cadence is somewhat off. And I said, okay, so just drop the video so we can all put this to bed. Not only that, people at Turning Point told me that he never said that at this event. Okay. So what am I left to do? You guys mentioned this to the public. You said that Charlie, 2 weeks before, I guess, had done a complete 180 on his entire life's perspective that women should stay home and raise the children and not be CEOs. And suddenly he was like, you know what? Actually, not only should women do it, but single women should do it. Widows should do it. And the kids should just be raised by the nanny and they should work 80-hour weeks.
That does seem uncharacteristic of Charlie Kirk.
Completely uncharacteristic of everything he's ever said.
In fact, one of the last conversations I had with him was at the Democratic National Convention. And look, I always appreciated the fact that he was down to debate, right?
Yes.
And that he didn't ever let it get dirty. And so I appreciated that. And so we started debating about the role of women. And he basically said, because I don't have children, I don't plan on having children. It's just a decision that me and my husband made together. And honestly, I don't think that I have the right temperament to be a mom in today's society because I will definitely kill people if they come anywhere. Like what they're doing to my husband right now, if they tried to like harm my kids.
Prison.
I would
can
be
make
in
myself
prison.
at home.
100%. I don't give a damn. That's how I am.
That's me.
I'm like fiercely loyal and defensive of my family. But anyway, he told me, well, you know, if you don't have kids, you don't really have a stake in the future of this country. And I just remember being very offended by that because I love this country so much and I definitely do have a stake in the future. Like I have young, you know, nieces and nephews that I love to death, but even if I didn't, I love the people of this country. Like I want it to succeed. And so in that conversation, he like really reiterated what he believes the role of women should be. So then after he gets assassinated, and you don't really question it at first because you don't want to be that guy or that person who's just like, I don't know, that sounds a little shady and weird. And you go along to get along. That's a good example of a story where you go along to get along. But yeah, there was this feeling within me where it's like, well, maybe he was willing to go against his beliefs or his values because he wants to make sure that the business falls in the hands of a family member, right? Maybe that's why. But I do find it strange. I do.
But it goes.
You know, just to get into it a little bit, they're talking about the audio here. I know some of you have probably seen it already. Those of you that are just part of the live stream crowd, maybe you haven't seen it already. Sometimes, you know, you won't be notified of a pre-recorded video, and then the pre-recorded crowd won't be notified if there is a live stream. You know, it goes back and forth that way. It's like they're different lanes. It's like they see them as like completely different things. So I am going to show you guys a little bit about what they were talking about in terms of the audio potentially being fake. Okay. Allegedly, This is just this girl's findings. This is what she found. Her name is literally Mom Sleuth on TikTok, and this is what she stumbled upon.
I can prove this Charlie Kirk audio is fake and that the truth is even more disturbing than we thought.
A lot of organizations and groups, as soon as a founder leaves, it just kind of collapses. A lot of my job is not always in the day-to-day details. It's very much vision casting, very much driving success. But we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erica would do a great job.
A few weeks ago, while researching Charlie's final interview, I made notes about him discussing brands collapsing when founders leave. I didn't think much of it at the time, but when I heard this supposed donor event audio again today, I recognized the voice patterns. I went back to check, and while nothing matches exactly, there are many of the same words and phrases. Founders
are rarely
day-to-day,
good day-to-day managers.
collapse,
Nothing collapses an organization quicker.
vision casting.
Vision casting.
So here's what I think happened. They scheduled that final interview knowing it would be Charlie's last. They harvested his voice, his speech patterns, his thoughts on leadership transitions, and they used AI to create audio of him appointing Erica as CEO. They probably hoped he would say something like, I appoint Erica naturally during that interview, but I can confirm he never did. So they manufactured it using his own voice against him. This would mean Charlie Kirk's final interview was a voice harvesting operation. And in hindsight, it makes perfect sense. Why would Charlie be speaking at a restaurant entrepreneurship summit? It feels contrived. So if true, Erica Kirk is running TPUSA based on AI cloned audio of her dead husband's voice, created from his final interview hours before his assassination. And I just don't really believe in coincidences.
So again, that's Mom Sleuth on TikTok. So I don't know what else she's made. I don't really get on TikTok much myself. It's just not my speed. I feel like I'm almost too old for TikTok. Too young for Facebook, too old for TikTok. That's where we are. We're the new Gen X crowd, you know? So let me just jump over here. This interview that you're seeing down here. So you're seeing two different things. This interview, just to go over this, and I know, again, you know, sorry about the overlap for anybody that's seen it, but this interview that this lady's talking about is actually called, you know, cleverly enough, Charlie Kirk's final interview. That is what it's called. You can actually find it on the Turning Point website, or sorry, the Turning Point YouTube channel, I should say. It's Charlie's final. So here it is. This is what it's called. Again, you can see it right there underneath everything. It is called Charlie Kirk's final interview. And if you listen to Charlie talk, it actually does sound very similar in terms of the echo that's happening. It sounds very similar to what they played at AmFest.
Someone who has been into building stuff, and especially whether it be brands or businesses. And one thing I think that people don't quite grasp is that we have 1,000 employees in what we do. You know, we have a very successful for-profit entity, a very successful non-for-profit entity, you know, well over $140 million in revenue now a year, which in our space is a lot of money, right? And so, yeah, look, I love finding problems and solving them, which is what an entrepreneur at its core actually is. And I love building teams. I myself know my skill set, and managing is not one of them, you know, managing people day to day, but I'm really good at trying to find a vision.
So it sounds very, very similar. That echo is very, very distinct. You can hear it here as well.
Driving success. But we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. It's very much vision cast. Job is not always in the day-to-day details. It's very much vision casting, very much driving success.
So here's the thing with that echo. The thing about it is, it's very hard to get rid of. It's very hard to just get rid of echo like that. It's not an easy task. So what you would do is you would kind of run with it, because to make it go away completely, very, very difficult, especially that type of echo, that type of booming. He's in a, you know, I'll say a theater, probably not a stadium. He's probably like in a theater type of setting, thousands of people, maybe 2,000 people, something like that, that he's speaking in front of. Very hard to get rid of that type of echo. So what you would do is you kind of just run with it. So that's just what that girl came to the conclusion of. Someone says, but the Gen X crowd is still here. No, you guys are boomers now. No. You Gen X, you guys are boomers now. That's what you guys are. I'm kidding. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys that really, really quick. So sorry for the overlap that anybody who's seen it, but I think it's very important when they talk about the audio.
It goes against common sense, because not only the story we're being told is like, specifically, he said, if anything ever happens to me, meaning like if I get killed, I want my wife to be the next person that gets into the line of fire while my kids are at home. Like, what? Like, no.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Actually, your instinct is then, no, shut this down. You go and move and stay away from politics forever and protect our children. So it defies common sense. And
someone said echoes are easy. No, not those type of echoes. Not those type of echoes. Because after you get rid of it, it's going to sound absolutely ridiculous. And you're never going to get it back to sounding like the way I sound right now. You're never going to get it back to that. So the best thing to do, especially from an audio engineer, of which I am audio first. I was audio way before I was video, way before I ever touched the camera or anything. I was working in audio. And the best thing for you to do would be to ride with it. The smartest thing, thinking about it, wouldn't be, I'm going to clean this up completely. It would be like, well, we're going to be in a big place, and the place is already going to have an echo. So if the audio has an echo too, that's going to be completely fine. People won't really question it. We can take it from this interview that has an echo, and we're good. That's what you would do. But I was probably a little better in audio than you were, but that's probably a little better. Anyway, that's when I was getting paid to do audio. Anyway, let's keep going here.
And I know what Charlie's perspectives were, obviously, the life that he wanted and what he said every time anybody asked him on his podcast. I mean, we have a decade of Charlie saying what his perspective was on how women should stay home and there's no value in becoming a CEO. And then suddenly it's whiplash, and we're told actually right before he died, he just had this amazing 180 that it was a private donor event.
Yeah.
And now the donors are saying it didn't happen. That is AI. Okay.
Wow.
That's a very big claim that I am making, right? And I'm not making that claim, by the way, the donors are. And they're contacting me and saying this never happened because they couldn't believe it. Because they said they were watching my podcast, and when they had heard it initially, when Erica told the story to Megyn Kelly, they thought, oh, it must have been at the Hamptons or whatever it was. And then when I said it was Aspen, they were shocked.
Wow.
They said this absolutely did not happen. So if I'm lying about that, wouldn't you, if you're Andrew Colvet, instantly say, oh, here's the video, Candace. Like, I don't know, maybe the donor forgot, but here it is. And now we're suddenly going, why didn't they drop the video?
Yeah.
Like, they had her walk out to the audio. That would have been a very powerful. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
You have a video of Charlie on stage at an event, and he says, like, I want Erica Kirk. I appoint Erica Kirk to be the CEO.
Right.
Like, people would have not had a dry eye in the place. We would have, I think it would have, like, even more made people rally.
So that is the basic of them talking about the Charlie Kirk investigation. Basically it's just more of Anna saying, I think there's something going on. And Candace is like, yes. Can you listen? Just be on my side. Yes, I have all the information.
Well, in the media are really going at it, like just trying to, attack you for being cruel and going after Erica. And like, I do think that they put words in your mouth sometimes.
Oh man, this is perfect. I love it. I absolutely love it. So we're going to move on to the next topic here, right at 1 hour, 33 seconds. Oh man, another incredible person. Somebody help this person with their ladder. They can't actually find the joke. It went too far. We have someone who is the same height as Ben Shapiro here. Please help them. They are not height inclined, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, the comments about Gen Xers being boomers, very bad, coach. I very rarely comment because, like most of Gen X, I consider it a waste of time. But this was such a bad take. Okay, nerd. Actually, that's not true what you're saying about the, if you look at the age discrepancies with the boomers and the Gen X's, actually, it doesn't change based on another group coming in. Those still generations are still the same generations there. Thanks, nerd. We all know. Anyway. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to do it to you. I'm sorry I had to do that. Listen, this is exactly why I brought up being a reporter versus being a comedian. I'm going to handle that like a comedian does. You're a heckler. You heckle at a show. It's time to handle business. What do you think's happening? Not a reporter. I'm not Glenn Greenwald over here. Okay. This is not what you're seeing. You're seeing a comedian at work. So I'm going to handle a heckler the way you want someone to handle a heckler when you're at a comedy show. You want some more laughs, and your boy brings it. What are we talking about here? You know? So all you Gen X boomers, quiet down, okay? Oh my God. Don't worry. We're all old. You know? What can we do, you know? Yeah, I'm not switching out body parts with robot parts. I don't know if you are. So that's it. The knee pain that I have is just going to get worse. And that's where we're at, you know? None of us can function off of 5 hours of sleep anymore. Those days are all done for everybody here. Just, that's it. That's it. It's just how it is, guys. We're all old here. Don't worry. We all got kids. Some people's kids are becoming teenagers. It's just, red light therapy. Yeah, See, now we're having conversations. That's when you're having conversations about red light therapy. You're having conversations about how to get me and my father-in-law. I remember I think we had the same shirt on. And I was like, Costco. And he was like, yup. He's like, I just go for the blue. And he's talking about the tags for the sizes. I was like, yeah, I go blue too. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's it. That's it. I'm having a conversation with a senior citizen about where we get our shirts. We're done. That's it. All I can do is slim down and just white knuckle life. That's it. We're all old. Don't worry about it. Gen X, whatever we are. What are we? Millennials? I feel like that one's fake. That doesn't even sound real. And then what? Gen Z, and then like Gen Alpha, whatever the hell the kids are or whatever. Even how I'm talking like Archie Bunker. Those kids, whatever they're called, what are you called? Gen Alpha? You weirdos with your cat ears, huh? Walking around with your cat ears, huh? And your weird looks. Yeah, Gen Y, is that what they're called? Okay. Gen Y, Generation Y, is this happening to us? Generation Y is this happening to us? And the boomers and the Gen Xers are just like, how you guys doing? How you doing? Hi, over here. We're your parents and grandparents. And the millennials are like, it's going to get way worse. The millennials are running up to the Gen Yers and like, it's going to get way worse. Have you read the Bible? You ever heard end times, Revelation? You've never read that? Oh my God, you have to read that. It's happening right now. It's getting real bad. You just gotta lock in. I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry, kid. Yeah, Generation WTF is coming next. That's the next one. Once we kick in full idiocracy, once we kick in full brain chip, robot limb idiocracy, once we kick that into gear, Generation WTF arises. And they're like, what's happened? What did you guys do to this place? And we're like, well, the thing is, we thought we needed water. And science said that we needed water. But the thing is, Bill Gates said we needed data centers. Data centers need water. They need more than we do. So we decided make our insides not need water anymore. So we give the water to the data centers because data centers are more important because data centers have all our thoughts now. So we're going to have the stupidest explanations. We're going to have the dumbest explanations for everything. Well, the data centers, I don't know. We all figured why work. And the guys who were richest, they said we weren't going to work anymore. And they said the things were taking our jobs. So, we just kind of lost our jobs. Yeah, I don't know. That's just what we did. And now Emperor Baron Trump says that none of us are allowed to have water because the water is for the data centers. So we drink this instead. It's purified urine. Here you go. Go ahead, try some. Huh? Bang that back. There you go. That's good. Now I got to hang around you for the next 20 minutes because when you pee that out, I'm going to have to take it. I'm going to have to purify it again because that's what we're going to drink for the next 5 years. That's how the world works now. Sorry, hold on. I'm getting the message. Got a brain chip. Oh. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be so terrible. I'm kidding. It's gonna be good. Everything's gonna work out as it should, I really do believe that. Anyway, locking back in here. Sorry, I took a little detour there, guys. That person sent me on a detour. I didn't mean to do that, guys. We haven't even got to the Frank Turek yet. I gotta get through this, guys. You guys are making me late. I was already late when I arrived. Now you guys are making me late. Now you guys are making me black late. Before I was just a little fashionable late. Now you're making me black late. Come on, guys. Anyway, all right, let's jump in here. This is the last part that really spoke to the whole interview, in my opinion.
Per se, but I definitely don't think I'm an atheist anymore.
Right.
Yeah, this is the first time I've said that publicly.
Right, which is amazing. I mean, I think it's something's on the move, and I keep saying that. It feels like there are so many people that are having that sort of a spiritual awakening, if that's what you want to call it, and recognizing, whoa, what is happening is so evil that it is ancient. There's something ancient about what's happening right now.
Yeah,
and the answers are not going to be in these fickle day by day discussions. And we need to what actually has been happening since the beginning of time. And when you, for me, that was kind of the most natural thing where I was like, wow, this is like way deeper than I ever imagined. And it is. You're right. It's something happens that is so. It's like evil by biblical proportions, right?
Yes.
It's like biblical. This can't be, we can't be the same species if you're okay with what they're doing. Like there's something so much deeper. What is motivating you to be okay with the genocide? And I have been in that pursuit, I think, heavily definitively since obviously my firing and me not comprehending everything. And I feel it has driven me even more. Like I'm like, okay, I get this now. This is
And I love that you're willing to have people like, Norm Finkelstein on, Bassem Youssef. Like those are some of my favorite episodes of yours. I watched it, and Bassem Youssef got a little, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of heat too. Oh, you're talking to Candace Owens, whatever. He got a little bit of heat on that. And I'm so happy to see that he pushed back. He's like, okay, you don't like Candace, who cares?
Yeah.
Get over it.
We need more of that. We have to like take this thing out of it because we're fighting real evil. And so I just really want to say that, like, if you think you hate someone on the left, like, is that person like I think my litmus test is like Gaza. My litmus test is somehow become Gaza, where I'm like,
someone else finally said it.
So that part of the interview, and they just talk about this more, is when they're coming together, they're realizing what the sides actually are. And I think that's the thing that's going to make Candace way more comfortable with, not even way more comfortable. I think that's going to be the thing that I guess ushers her into whatever this coalition that's forming, because there is a coalition forming. We're watching it happen day after day. We're watching people come to these conclusions, and it's not just because of what's happening in the Middle East. It's the disillusion because of, where they're seeing the Republican Party go, because they've been hard on the right for a long time. It happened a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago for some people on the left, when they realized that the Democrat Party wasn't really focused on the solid issues that needed to be focused on. There's a lot of people in the Black community that was kind of like, I thought you guys were all about us, and it seems like you're all about something else. And they felt disillusioned. Now there's something forming. And I think things like this are going to be the thing that pushes her in to politics. Now, again, I don't know that she's actually going to be, running for president or vice president, but being in politics is a very broad thing. I don't think she's going to. I think she's always going to have a podcast, because even when the Daily Wire was going on, she still had this channel that we all watch now. That channel still existed, and she made sure of that. It was like her backup plan. You could tell. She didn't say that, but that's what I always thought. I was like, oh, there's this backup channel for some reason. And now we know the reason. I think she's going to step into something. And I think making alliances with Anna and Hunter and Tucker, and you know what I mean? All these people who are known to be conservative, all these people who are known to be very left-wing, I think there's going to be more of that. And she's putting all of that right-left stuff aside, and that coalition is going to form more and more and more and more, and it's going to build into something. And I think it's going to build into something that is going to try to rival the Republican and the Democrat institution that you have now. I think that's what's going to happen. And conversations like that just lead me to believe that even more and more and more. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the hard hitting questions. Let's get into the hard hitting podcast. Jack Hibbs, my apologies, and Frank Turek sat down for a hot Fed Slop infomercial. We are bringing you some of the hottest Fed Slop. Let me just go back 9 months. Charlie never changed his stance. He never changed his stance on Philadelphia. You can buy this. You can buy this silly thought process for just the low payment of $9.99. 1,900 payments of $9.99. That is all it takes, ladies and gentlemen. And you can get a discount. What's that, Frank? Frank, are you saying there's a discount? Frank says there's a discount. We can't do this. How low are you going to go, Frank? Well, if they sell their souls to us now, they can only pay 10 payments of $9.99. Oh my God, that is too low. That's crazy. Just your soul, 10 payments of $9.99. You can have these silly thought processes that we're bringing up here. It's the whole podcast. You know, let's jump in though. We'll start with Baron because Baron always asks the hard hitting questions. He is the researcher of our day. He is the investigator of our day. Always asks the hard hitting questions. Let's start off.
What's his name again? Is there anybody who believes at this moment in time Frank Turek does not know what Jack Hibbs' brother name is? Guys, it's impossible for me to believe. Partially because I could sit here and play a reel. I'm not going to for time, but I could sit here and play a reel of Frank Turek mentioning Butch Hibbs by name over and over and over. It's like it was the first indication to me. Oh, that's what we're going to play tonight. We're going to play dumb. We're going to act like we don't know things. We're going to sit back and act like we don't know things. Second thing, I got to ask the question because this is the kind of guy I am. And I hate asking questions like this, and I'm not making a judgment when I ask the question. Let me pull this down just a second. I want to be very clear. I'm not judging anybody with the question I'm about to ask, but I have to ask it because I am insanely curious. I can't tell. Is he wearing a rug? Is that a rug? Like, is that a toupee? Is that a wig? I cannot tell for the life of me. I watched this twice, guys. It's an hour and 10 minutes long. I watched it twice. The whole time I'm thinking, man, it looks like a rug. I think it's a rug. That's a weird place to part your hair if it's not a rug. I don't care. Wear the rug. I just couldn't tell. And so I figured I would ask some rug experts. And apparently my instinct was correct. My instinct was correct. He's wigging out on us, ladies and gentlemen. When he goes to bed at night, there's just styrofoam heads all over the room. He lays down and it's just styrofoam heads everywhere. With all his rugs, he just lines them up. What am I going to look like today? Which styrofoam head am I going for? Anyway, I get off traffic sometimes.
The hard hitting questions, ladies and gentlemen, the answers, the questions that really need to be answered. Thank you so much. Your humble host, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, so funny. I was listening to that in the morning. I was just laughing because you look at it where he froze it. I mean, you know, he's kind of poisoning the well here, you know, like in this position, how are we going to question whether or not this is a rug? When he puts it just at this frame, there's other frames Baron could have went with to ask this question. And we would have been like, not sure, you know, not sure about this. But when you put it in this frame, we're all sitting there like, this is basically what this guy has going on here. This is exactly what he basically has going on. This is what it looks like. You know, it looks like this. It looks basically just like this. That's what he made it look like. And Baron's like, is that a rug? And it's like, kind of looks like one. I don't know. This is basically what Jack is working with here. He's working with one of these. Hey, what's going on? You guys good? Nah, I was just combing my hair in the back. Nah, I was just doing a little. I just got to run a little comb through it sometimes, you know. Of course we're going to think it's a rug. You do it like that. Of course we are. Come on, man. Can't do that to Hibbs. Why are you doing that to Hibbs, man? That's how it is. Some of us put on hats. Some of us put on rugs. A man unit, as it's called. Some of us do, like, it's all good. It's all good. That was so funny when Baron did that. Anyway, let's get into this podcast. This podcast was it's very telling, because I don't know that this needed to be done. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's, what were we, like 9 months, almost 10 months later? 9-10 months later. Why did this podcast need to happen? Right? I don't really understand why they needed to do this at this time and have this conversation. This could have just been, like, they could have done this months ago, or they could have not done this at all. It would be fine if they didn't do this at all. I feel like because they did this, it makes the whole situation look worse. It's one of the many things that, and I won't say Turning Point signs off on, but it's one of the many things that they do that just makes things look even weirder. And you never think that they can up it. You're like, well, Erica dressed like Tyler Robinson, so we're done here in terms of the weirdness. And they go, no, we got more. And you're like, okay, Andrew and Blake just said Charlie did not like Thomas Massey at all, because Thomas Massey kept pushing for the JE documents to be released. And we're like, okay, well, it's not going to get any weirder or crazier than that. And they're like, you know what? Screw it. Put Frank and Hibbs together and have them have a conversation that nobody needed. Just throw them out there. Just go ahead and do it real quick. And you're just like, is it going to get weirder than this? And they're like, yeah. They're like, of course it's going to get weirder like this. We haven't even brought Tyler out that much. Mikey McCoy's only said 19 words. Of course it's going to get way weirder. We have so much weirdness that we're about to release for you guys. You know, they're always coming. Let me play this clip here. This is at the 44 minutes. Why would I have it at 44 minutes? Let me see all the clips I have here. Then we got 14 minutes, 34 seconds. Then we got 20 minutes. That's perfect. Then we have 22 minutes. This is the thing that really stood out to me. There's a part at 23 minutes, and a part at 27 minutes where it's like Frank doesn't even realize what he's saying. We'll get to that soon, but let's start it off here. Let's see what we had here at the 43 minutes. Check this out. Here, let's jump over.
Also would say about courage, Jack. He loved the virtue of courage because courage doesn't take any skill. You just got to make a decision.
Please say that again.
Courage doesn't take any skill. You don't have to be gifted. You don't have to have a great amount of intelligence. All you got to do is make a decision. That's what courage is. Mm. And as you know, Churchill and Aristotle before him.
For Barron, the first thing that Barron saw was Frank acting like he didn't know Jack Hibbs's brother's name. And that was the first thing for Barron, where he went, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. For me, it was 43 minutes in, because I skim through podcasts when I do it. When I heard him say that, and then Jack Hibbs looked at him and said, say that again, I was like, oh, these guys, that's where the infomercial thought came. Say that again for everyone, Frank. I said, courage doesn't take any skill. Do you know what else doesn't take any skill, ladies and gentlemen? Buying our slop. It doesn't take any skill whatsoever. We don't need you to read. We got it on audio. We'll never show you the video. We got it on audio, and it's just 10 low payments of $4,900. You understand? This is all going to be taken directly from your taxes. It's not going to come from your bank account. This is taxpayer money that we are taking this with. You just got to sign up, ladies and gentlemen. This is a steal of a deal. Say that again for him. Say it again. That seemed very scripted. But also church people are like that. You know, you say something and church people go, come on. You ever been in church? If you haven't been to church unless you hear somebody go, come on. Yes. Praise the Come on. There's always that guy right in the middle of everything. Come on. Come on. Those are my favorite guys. There's one person in our church, this dude, and he's usually behind us somehow. He wears Bucky stuff like I do. He loves Bucky's too. And he's like, Jesus, oh Lord Jesus. Oh Jesus. Oh Lord Jesus. And me and my wife can't even look at each other when this guy starts doing that. If we look at each other, we're going to bust out laughing and it's going to be terrible. I'm going to have to run out. We can't even look at each other. We can't even acknowledge each other once he starts doing Jesus. Oh, Lord. Jesus. Yes, Lord. He's the best. He's the best. It's not gross. It's not gross. I mean, you can think of it that way because he's behind us, but I mean, he's not. He's nice. He's a nice guy. I like him. It's just funny. It's just hilarious when he does it. So that was my first tip, that I was about to see something absolutely ridiculous. That's just me, right? So we'll start off here. These people pouring into Charlie. I found this very interesting. I'm just going to show you the parts that I found interesting and just connect them to what we've discussed so far within the investigation sphere of things. So let's go.
Yeah. Normal.
And Adams knew that our government was made for our Constitution was made for only religious and moral people. It's inadequate. Wholly inadequate.
Wholly inadequate for the governance of any other.
Yeah.
Completely true.
And Charlie knew that.
Yeah, he knew that.
Charlie wanted to spread the gospel and save his country.
Yeah. We have a mutual friend. Gosh, I'm kind of having a freak out right now. So let's kind of exaggerate this in the sanctified form. Here's Charlie Kirk. And by the workings of God, there are people that are coming into Charlie's life by whatever means it happened, and you can name them. But my lane is so narrow. But in that lane, there's the man Frank Turek that I've known for so long and good friend, and so Charlie winds up, somehow you guys wind up connecting. And then either you or I or somebody said, Charlie, you got to talk to Bill Federer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait.
Well, what?
It just keeps expanding.
It's Turek, it's Federer, it's Prager, it's all of these people pouring into this man.
That's right.
And that's just the hand of God. And
when he says that, right away, it made me think of, because I did like a lot of episodes on Charlie Kirk and the people around him and how it was kind of guided. And I did a lot of parallels between Charlie and the Truman Show and things of that nature. And when he says all that, all these people pouring into him, I'm just kind of like, yeah, these are the people who were just all randomly around him, right? He's leaving school. He has this spiritual advisor. The spiritual advisor, I don't know, could have, because we don't know who this man was. We have no idea who he was. But did he know Bill Montgomery? Did he know that man at all? That man that saw Charlie and said, you know what? You don't go to college. You're going to start this company. We'll start it together. You and I. Let's do it. Randomly decides to do that. Charlie was a really smart kid. He went to a kind of GATE program-ish type school, definitely a school for X-Men, as Candace called it. He went to one of those schools. Those schools did have connection with the agency at one point. Who knows if they still did, but that man finds him, pours into him, as Hibbs puts it. Then we have, as time goes on, like he says, there's Prager, then there's Frank Turek, then there's Rob McCoy. Then there is, Erica's around him, but I wouldn't say Erica's really pouring into him, right? There's all these people, person by person by person by person. And they're all leading him to this point. And it seems like they're leading him towards being the president, right? And he kind of veers off, he kind of defies orders a little bit, I don't know. It just made me think of that as he was saying it all. He's like, oh, that's just the hand of God. I don't know if it was. And I'm not a non-believer. I'm a believer. I do believe that the hand of God does this. And the thing about it is, I've had these experiences as well, where all of a sudden I randomly meet somebody, and because we have a conversation, it completely changes what I think or the path that I'm on. But I don't believe these people, none of these people that this happened with me with, were any political type people. With Charlie, it was all these political and, I guess you'll say religious types. But even those religious types, as you look at them, they're actually very political. And then they also all have this like military type connection as well. Yeah. Thank you for your service. But it's still all very, very odd, Like somebody in the comments said evangelicals equals circus. And it's like, it seems like it's not that itself that's a circus. What you're seeing is the people at work that are making it look like a circus, right? Just like Philadelphia is not evil, but the people who are in charge, they're doing some pretty crazy things, pretty terrible things, right? Canada's not dumb, but they've had a couple of dumb leaders. You can say, you can look at it and say they voted them in, but you might want to look into that. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. It's questionable. You can say if you're in Europe, you could look and say, oh, Americans are this or that. But it's like, do you know about how the food system works? Do you know about what they allow in the food? Do you know about how the government works? Do you know about what they do? Do you know about the agency? Do you know about the bureau? Do you know what they do to people domestically? Do you know about any of that? It's like you don't, right? You can't blanket it towards just that. You can't blanket the whole thing. There's things at work within the thing. If that makes sense. That's a scientific term that I use there. But let's keep going. I'll play a little bit more of this just to see where he's going with it.
And so you said that. So yeah, I mean, he's a perfect example that if we're open and willing to learn, because remember Charlie would say, learn something new every day. Just learn something new every day.
The wise listen, he would say.
Oh, yeah.
Those are just
paraphrased right out of Proverbs.
Just Proverbs, yeah.
But are you comfortable enough to share some of the you guys walked a lot?
Yeah.
Even that, it's very theater-like. Like, are you comfortable enough to share? You guys walked a lot. It's like you know exactly what you're leading to. Clearly, I don't know. To me, it's very clear. Like, there's some shows that you ever seen, like the show, one of them that, what's it called? Two Girls, One Pizza. It sounds so stupid. I don't know. Broke Girls. That's what it's called. There's like two chicks that like work in a restaurant or something like that. Two broke girls. One of them has a gap in her teeth like I do, and she's brown hair, and the other one's like tall blonde. And anytime I would watch that show, my friend would be like, oh, you got to watch this show. This show's great. Anytime I'd watch it, it would just seem like so much like theater to me. Like it just seemed like theater kids where I was like, I can't watch this. I can't watch this. It's just terrible. No, don't Google what I said. Google the show Broke Girls. That's what, not the other thing. Two Broke Girls. There you go. Yeah. Like anytime I would watch that show, I'd be like, this is like such theater. Because they'd be like, what's happening here? Well, it seems like he's a little late on his check. And then you hear the laughing. And I'm just like, oh, I can't do this. This is crazy. This sounds terrible. Yeah, overacted. Yes, that's exactly what I got there with that little thing. You guys, are you comfortable enough to talk about this?
The example that if we're open and willing to learn, because remember Charlie would say, learn something new every day. Just learn something new every day.
The wise listen, he would say.
Oh, yeah.
Those are just
paraphrased right out of Proverbs.
Just Proverbs, yeah.
But are you comfortable enough to share some of the you guys walked a lot?
Yeah.
Are you okay to
make that
public?
Yeah, we
Are you okay to make that public? You guys took walks a lot. Are you okay to make that public? Well, what if he said no? Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, a lot of people walk and some people take walks. I don't know if I really want to divulge whether I've been walking with my feet or not. I don't know. And especially with a friend, I don't know. That's kind of personal. If I've taken walks before, I don't know if I can really answer that. You want to make that public? You get 10,000 steps a day. You want to make that public? I don't know. It's kind of personal. It's kind of a little personal.
In the summer of 2025, Charlie wanted to get ready for the tour, and the first event was
Was Utah.
And so on 4 occasions, he and I got together in Phoenix we would just sit around and talk about issues he wanted to talk about, that he wanted to be better at answering questions on campus. And sometimes it would be just him and me. Sometimes it'd be me, him, Mikey, Blake Neff, Danny Phillip. These are people in TPUSA. And the last event we had was, he went out to Japan. I don't know if you remember this. He went to Japan and Korea.
Absolutely.
Right, like in the beginning of September. And we were together in the beginning of August for the 3rd event. And he said, hey, Frank, the first event is September 10th. And I'm going to be in Japan and Korea.
Like on the 9th.
Yeah. Just a couple days before. He said, is there any chance you can come back to Phoenix? When I land on the 7th, then, you know, the 8th and the 9th we could spend together. And then why don't you just come with me to the first event on the 10th? It's like, sure, we'll figure it out. I'll be there. So I was there, and it just so happens my mother-in-law lives in Scottsdale. And so I can bring Stephanie with me, and well, it'll
work great.
Yeah, it'll work out great. So we would get together during the day for a couple hours, 2-3 hours. And, you know, he'd be working, I'd be working, and then we get together. And then after he and Erica put the kids down, he'd say, hey, let's go on a walk. And we do this every time I was in Phoenix. And the last walk we had was Monday night. The murder happened on Wednesday. And we probably walked for 90 minutes, always with a 300-pound bodyguard behind us, armed bodyguard. We'd walk around his neighborhood. And there are 3 things we talked about that night, Jack. We spent most of our time on. The first was, of course, government and Islam. He's concerned about it.
Yeah, it's so funny when they get into this whole thing of like, oh, you know, the thing when he gets into this whole thing about what they would talk about. And it's just, you know, so much about Islam. And, you know, Coach almost had the wrong 2 girls. Yeah. I almost messed up there. My apologies. For anyone who did Google, I'm very sorry. But why the bodyguard comment? Exactly. And I mean, you know, then people actually seeing him, then actually people seeing Charlie and not seeing Frank there, and seeing a person who was tall, and that's the person that had the walk. And, you know, it makes me wonder, even as Frank talks about this, and this is why this is bad for them, because it makes people revisit things and think about things again. It makes me wonder, because there was reports of Charlie being seen with somebody the night before, but it wasn't Frank, because the person was tall. Frank's not a tall guy, you know, especially compared to Charlie. Charlie was like, what, 6'4" or something like that, 6'5"? But this person was like on par with Charlie's height. And this person was talking to Charlie. And it makes me wonder that, did Frank organize some kind of, again, the way I see it, some kind of pressure session for Charlie on one of these walks before he hit UVU? Did he organize that the same way Andrew Colvette organized the Ben Shapiro interview? Right? It's clear Charlie was being put through things that he didn't like doing. Right? Andrew said that himself, that he did not like being in that interview with Ben. He did not want to do that. So I wonder if Frank did something similar and said, oh God, this is just a guy you need to talk to. You know, ever since he's talking, Baronfoot is 9 feet tall. Yeah, it could be Baron. Could have been talking with Baron. Who knows? But the person just said they were tall. Didn't say he was big. Didn't say he looked like a security guard or anything. Just said he was a tall guy. So who knows who it was. But I just wonder if that's what happened. If somebody did a little bit of a, here you go. Yeah, a little temperature check, a little intervention. Like, you know, we heard what you said in the text message. You know, Josh Hammer let us know. You know, I'm starting to realize someone else that was in that text, that group chat. It was Charlie, Josh Hammer. Andrew was there as well, because he's the one that released it. And then we didn't know the other people. One of them was that Philadelphian dude who ended up coming out, guy with glasses. I forget what his name is. I think he's a rabbi or something like that. And then the other person had to be Blake. That's who the other person had to be. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. It would either be Blake or Mikey McCoy. And I think it was Blake. I think that would make sense. That's just me, though. But who knows? But maybe maybe they were just like, listen, you heard what you said about leaving the cause. And, you know, I just want you to talk to this guy. You know, just take a walk with him. Just talk with him. And who knows? Maybe the guy knew him. Maybe it was a known person that Charlie, you know, interacted with quite a bit, same way he interacted with Josh Hammer and, you know, everybody. I have no idea, but it makes you think, especially when they bring this up. Like, hey, man, we went on a walk and the only thing that was on Charlie's mind, was Islam. That's it. Yeah, he's just trying to figure that out. He wasn't having doubts about anything. He wasn't walking away from anything. Nothing of the sort. He was just really caught up with all of that. It's like, okay, sure. But anyway, let's move on, because this kind of touches on what they were going through there. And again, I don't want to make you guys sit through this. I usually watch things twice. Barron said he watched this twice. I was like, oh, good for him. I watched it once. I was like, I'm not watching this again. This is crazy. I usually watch things twice, no problem. But this was like, yeah, I'm like, this is just too much. But this is where he starts talking about how Charlie never deviated from his stance on Philadelphia.
Oh, yes.
Don't be just about marriage and the church. I mean, that's important, family, church, obviously. But don't forget about government.
Yeah.
God established government.
Yeah.
And God put government in place to punish wrongdoers and protect innocent people from evil. And if we don't do that, we are giving up on God's institution.
That's right.
So Charlie,
Wow. Yep.
and that final night,
Man.
that's what he was talking about, Jack.
So Charlie, man, on that final night, whoo, man, come on. These guys together, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. Like, why did they do this? It's so weird. It's so weird to me that they did this, you know?
That's what he was talking about. And let me add one other thing. And this, by the way, is all going to be in a book that we just wrote, doesn't come out till September, called The War on Reality.
Great.
Recovering truth in a world that celebrates lies. The first chapter is all about what we're talking about right now. It's the whole book's in honor of Charlie. Started writing it before, the whole book shifted after the murder.
I mentioned to you, sorry.
No, I just want to complete the thought. Because the next day, so Monday night, we're out on a walk. Next day, September 9th, Charlie calls a meeting, a scheduled Zoom meeting with two officials in Israel.
He calls he calls for a meeting, a scheduled meeting. Okay, sure. That's weird. Okay. So he called for the meeting that was already scheduled? Cool. All right. Sounds good.
One Jewish defender of Israel in the United States. I'm in the room with Charlie. Blake's in the room. Mikey's in and out. What do you think we're talking about, Jack?
I know.
We are talking about.
Wait a second. Jack knows? I thought they were having an organic conversation that neither of them have heard before or ever talked about before. How does Jack know? Jack knows? That's so weird. Why would Jack know? This is the first time they're all talking. But Jack knew? How'd Jack know? That's interesting. That must be the hand of God there. This hand that he keeps referencing to. And the book that he's about to write. We were writing a book. Let me tell you about this book, ladies and gentlemen. We were writing it for one reason. As soon as Charlie passed away, we made the whole focus on Charlie, ladies and gentlemen. You can get this book. This is going to be a great book. It's a very sloppy book, you understand? You're going to need a spoon for this book. You can have it for the low payment. Jack, can I tell him? I already know what you're going to say. Can I tell him, Jack? Go ahead and tell him. You can have this book for the low price, 14 payments of $16.99. $16.99, ladies and gentlemen, 4 low payments of $16.99. Now, this will be taken from taxpayer money. That is how we do things with FedSlop, ladies and gentlemen. We've been paid dark black budget money, ladies and gentlemen. You do not have to lift a finger. You just have to sign up, give us a little bit of your integrity, and bring your IQ points down 14%. Okay? That is a low number. 14%. Just bring it down 14%. That's all we ask for the low price.
How the propaganda war against Israel is gaining ground, even though it's all lies and deception. And Charlie is asking these guys, how can I better defend the truth regarding Israel? You guys help me with that.
That's right.
I was in this meeting. It lasted 50 minutes. This idea that Charlie was giving up on Israel is false.
Not only is it false, but I
like how he went like this. Tell me what to say. Tell me what to say. Come on, jump in here. Jump in here. Not only is it false, well, it's also wrong. Not only is it also wrong, it's also lies. There you go. There you go. It's also deception. 100%. Thank you so much. Words right out of my mouth. It's also evil and demonic. Oh, come on. Let's go. You're preaching now, Frank. Go ahead. Let these folks know what they can get for the low, low price of $9,000. $9,000 and 33 cents. 33 is very important. Anyway, he says that. Okay. So he wanted to make sure that he knew how to defend the truth. But then he also says this in another clip.
Or hatred or whatever it is about.
Oh, I already have this on double. I already have this on double speed here. What's going on with me? I was really good throughout the whole thing. Not one of them was fast,
About Israel. And they tried to use him. And that's a very, very, it's beyond sick.
Here is a distinction we talked about. And Charlie, in fact, when I said this to him, he said, wow, this is worth the whole trip. Because we were talking about blessing Israel.
Mhm.
Now, what does that mean?
Right.
Does that mean that you have to agree with everything the secular government says?
No,
And I said, no, that's not what it means.
exactly.
Because if you want to bless somebody, you tell them the truth.
Yeah.
If you want to bless your child, you don't agree with everything your child does.
That's right.
Yes.
You acknowledge and you protect the existence of the
You
child.
still feed him.
Yes.
They might get disciplined, but you still feed
That's
them.
right. That's right. So, I mean, what's the proverb, Jack? I think it's in
Now, when he says that, you have to realize he's talking about the way Charlie never deviated at all, even though the text message was there. The night that all of those people were there and that meeting happened, he had just said that he's thinking of leaving the pro-Philadelphia cause. He had just said that. That's what sparked this meeting. That's my opinion, at least. That's what I think. So then he says that and how he never deviated, but then he also says they had a conversation about how, of course, you could criticize the government. Well, then that's what Charlie was doing. They're having this weird conversation. They're having this very weird conversation about, well, I mean, he would never deviate whatsoever, but also had a conversation about how you can still bless someone or be fighting for somebody, but also criticize their government. Well, that's exactly what Charlie was doing. And that's exactly why he was getting attacked. Charlie's never attacked the people of Philadelphia. He was only criticizing the government. He was only criticizing what they would do. And that was what was getting him attacked. That was what was getting his morality put into question, as he said when he was with Megyn Kelly. So I just found it interesting that he's just like, he's sitting there saying one thing, but then he doesn't realize he's kind of validating what everybody's saying. Because nobody's saying Charlie was all of a sudden this hateful person and he just hated the people of a land. Like, that's not what Charlie was about. That's not what Charlie was doing. He was literally just questioning the government and what the government was doing and how they were handling things, from PR to, war tactics to everything. That's what he was doing. So I think at some point, especially when you have a conversation that nobody wants to hear, you say too much. And I think right there, Frank said a little too much because he just validated what everybody was saying unknowingly, because again, they're saying too much. A conversation that nobody needed. Nobody needed this conversation. So anyway, very nice. Frank Turek, Jack Hibbs, friend of the show. But that is it for that. I don't know how much more of that I could take, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, I know some of you are like, oh, let's keep going, but good golly, how much of those guys can you take? The Fed Slop Power Hour? I can't take a Fed Slop Power Hour, guys. I can't do it. 1 hour and 9 minutes? That's too many. That's too many minutes and too many hours. That is too many. What can I do? I'll talk about this quick, then we're just going to jump into the supers and whatnot. It was the Fox News story. The president said, "You're effing crazy. You'd be in prison if it wasn't for me. I'm saving your A. Everybody hates you now, and everybody hates Philadelphia because of this." Reportedly, this is what the president said to Bibi That's what U.S. officials tell Axios that the president said he unloaded on Bibi during a heated phone call over Philadelphia's military actions in Lebanon. The president was reportedly furious that Philadelphia moves risked blowing up the U.S. diplomatic efforts in the region, at one point also asking Bibi, what the F are you doing? Interesting. I don't know if it's real, guys. I don't know if that's real. I don't know. I think they understand completely. I forget where I heard it. I just heard somebody talk about this. How hyper aware the president is of polling numbers, how he's very aware of what the public is saying. I mean, that was one of his superpowers, is that he understood what the public was thinking. He understood what they wanted. That was one of his superpowers. Recently it's been like he doesn't care about that at all. But also you have to think he probably understands that people need to see a different stance when it comes to Philadelphia. They can't keep seeing him not do anything when Philadelphia kind of does whatever they want and kind of defies whatever he says. That's bad for approval as well. The approval rating going down, he can always just say, well, I have my base, so I don't care about this approval rating, because this approval rating is going based on everybody. Half the country already didn't like me. And then it goes down a little bit because some of the base was people who were on the left anyway, and they don't agree. It's like, so who cares? I still have my base. My base is still millions and millions of people. I'm good. But if they see you being weak to a world leader, then they're going to be like, hey, listen, we don't like what's going on here. Seems like you're bowing down to this world leader. That's not what we signed up for. He doesn't want to lose that base. So all of a sudden, this story comes out about him screaming at Bibi and saying all this stuff. Meanwhile, if I actually go to my bookmarks here, give me my trusty bookmarks. Meanwhile, let me just keep going here. I just want to find it. Bibi didn't seem phased at all, because Bibi was just like, I had a phone call with the president and it went fine. He seemed like he didn't care at all. Yeah, here's the actual quote. He said, I spoke with the president this evening, and I told him that if Hezbollah does not stop attacking our cities and our citizens, Philadelphia will attack targets in Beirut. Our position remains the same. At the same time, my forces will continue to operate as planned in southern Lebanon. What? So it's like you yelled at him and then he just went, okay. I see. You're very upset, Donald. You're very upset. Okay. We talk soon. Okay, Habibi. Yalla. We talk soon. And he just didn't care. He was like, just started typing. Whoop. Doesn't care. So he's basically just going to do the same thing anyway. So it's like, okay, all right. I guess that makes sense. So let's jump out of here. Just wanted to bring that story to you really quick. I mean, I don't know. Seems weird to me, at least. But let's jump into the supers. Let's jump into the coffees. Let's jump into the coffee. Let's do the coffees first. We did supers first yesterday. We will do coffees first today. We got Philip here. I know it says something else crazy here, but he said I can call him Philip. Those Etsy witches are just Blake, Andrew, and Mikey in Hibbs rugs. Witch elders are Sing Mother Cash and Tallyho Mother Kandahar Giant spitting Fed Slop. How low are you gonna go? Cash smiles and sings Get Low. That is some scene that you're putting into everybody's head here. That is a wild scene you are creating for everybody. Cash Patel, a Kandahar Giant, Gary, I would assume, all singing Get Low, Get from the windows and the walls. That's what they were doing. I like what goes on in your head. That's my kind of detour. Hey, coach, remember when the president campaigned on clean air and clean water? Wouldn't the AI data centers go against that? Yeah. I mean, I can't comment on as much on air, but yeah, water. Yeah, it messes with water. So many people are saying no, it's fine. It's not that. It messes with it, and what it doesn't take, it strips. There's life inside of water. A lot of people don't talk about. There is life inside of water. And what happens when it goes through these data centers? It gets stripped of that life, of that energy. There's energy inside of it. It gets stripped away. It's really bad. Really bad. I don't want to say it makes it like sterile, the way sterile water is like not good to drink just straight. You have to alkalize it. You have to you put some salt in it. It's bad. It's really bad. So yes, that would go against it as well. Greetings from Arizona. With everything we just read about Turning Point and everything, this feels like a threat. You threatening me? Huh, Marianne? You threatening me right now? It'd be a real threat if it was like 33 coffees. Marianne bought 33 coffees. Greetings from Arizona. I'd be like, oh, guys, I gotta go. Show's canceled for the week, guys. I gotta get out of here. Greetings to you as well. Fire BB-ish Queen. Coach, today's my daughter's 5th birthday. She doesn't know it exactly, but she listens to you every day with our morning drives. 5 years ago, she was born at 23 weeks, 5 days. Wow. And weighed in at 1 pound, 3 ounces. Oh my, that's crazy. We didn't know if she would survive, but not only did she survive, she surpassed the doctor's knowledge at the time. They told us that she'd never see 23. She would never see, they've never seen a 23 weeker like her, and weren't sure what to do at one point. Now she's healthy, happy, 5 years old with developmental delays, etc. But we are grateful she's here. And call her our miracle baby all the time. Could you give a birthday shout out? My girl on fire. Man, that is wild. Happy birthday, young girl. You just call her E. Happy birthday, E. Happy birthday to you. Look at you living and being alive. Look at that. What a miracle you are. The miracle baby. E, the miracle baby. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, nunca, nunca. Burr, burr, burr. I know black papi. Mama. It's this little girl birthday. When she was born, she's 23 weeks and she was 1 pound, mama. Oh, Lord, baby, that is the craziest thing I ever heard. How's she doing, baby? She 5 years old today, mama. I ain't never seen nothing like it. I came down from the mountain of evidence just to talk to her a little bit. Oh, baby, tell her happy birthday from mama. Oh, girl, happy birthday from mama. Happy birthday. Went off the rails there a little bit with the song. Kind of did a little remix there. Happy birthday. That's nuts. I can only imagine going through that. How terrifying that would be. Ah, man, that's nuts. Glad you're okay too. I know that's it's like a miracle baby, but it's also that's a hard thing to go through as parents for sure. Mama. Mama, why is Ben the butt stabber out here with Blake with one of these straps this Pride Month looking sassy? Sassy is 2 curves, is 2 straight curves. Dance on, coach. Dance on, coach. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that part in that voice. Okay. Dance on, coach. Hope the fam is great. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That's so crazy. What a nickname for Benny. Sorry to hear about in tummy trouble. Oh, Miss Chris Viz, what's going on? Sorry to hear about your little girl in tummy troubles. This app glitched on you yesterday. You missed a few coffees. Yeah, I think so too. I feel like someone sent a video and I didn't actually get to see it. So I got to like scroll down some more to see if I can actually find it. I finally launched my channel, but it's low tech, made with love. Please check it out. It's Betty is Bilingual. I think I'm saying that right. Betty. Each episode is 14 minutes long. Hope your little tykes like it, or your little likes it. Okay. And I hope our community with littles takes the time to check it out. I will take any constructive criticism. Thanks for the support. Peace and good health to everyone. Hit that like. Siempre. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Miss Chris Viz, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see something here. Let's see what's going on here with this. Let me see if it pops up. Sometimes you start a new channel, it's like, oh wow, okay. I was gonna say sometimes you start a new channel, you don't actually get, see anything. Okay, let's check this out. What's going on here? You have 2 episodes up 6 days ago. So it was 6 days ago. Why are you telling me 6 days ago? What's going on? You just tell me now. This is very interesting. I always think of this. I always do this. Okay. I don't smoke anymore, but sometimes I see like a place and I'd be like, oh, I would smoke right there. Oh yeah. I'd light up right there. That's where I would hang out. I always do that. And I do that sometimes when I'm looking at things. This looks like a trip. This looks trippy to me.
Betty is
Let me see here.
Spanish words. And by the end of the year, you will get to tell everyone that you are bilingual. Bi means 2. Because you will be able to speak 2 languages, English and Spanish, Inglés y Español. So today we're going to start with something that everyone's familiar with, farm animals. Not all of them, just a few. So
I'm just saying, if you have kids, you should definitely watch it. And if you're single, but you tend to smoke from time to time, I'm telling you, watch this and it will be a fun time for you. I promise you. You're talking to a connoisseur, an expert here. I'm just saying. Okay, don't take that as an insult, Miss Chris Fizz. Not at all. I'm just saying this is wild. I'm gonna make my kid watch this. Why not? My kid already goes along with me on Duolingo and everything. My kid knows all sorts of Spanish words for no reason. This is nuts. Okay,
say it with me. Come on, together. Here we go. Los perritos. Again.
This is actually very smart. This is actually a very smart thing to do. This is very, very smart to do. Because this is very easy and you learn. And then from a parent standpoint, it's not like, Coco Melon. I don't know if you guys know about Coco Melon. Coco Melon is like a controlled substance for kids. And some people say you're not supposed to let them watch it. Robot Chicken. Yes, it has Robot Chicken vibes. That's exactly it. Who said that? Yeah, Sway Diesel. Yeah, it has Robot Chicken vibes. This is actually it's very good because you don't want kids to see vibrant, crazy colors all the time. It's too much for them. So this is low on that. And then it's also teaching a little bit. And then also it's a trip at the same time. This is very, very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. I like this. I like this a lot. I'm going to see what my kid thinks of this. Because my kid will for sure watch. My kid watches anything. So 100% robot chicken, but 100% clean. Yeah, right. That's exactly what it's. That's exactly what it's like. That's very interesting. Okay,
You are now going to be called Alejandra. I like that name. My niece has that name. You guys at home, is there an Alejandra out there? How many of you have a gato? Or a perro? Or a perrito? Real?
What's a perrito? Is a perrito like a zesty dog? I know perro, gato. I know those two. A perrito? Is that you got a zesty dog? Yeah, it's all right. It's June. It's fine. All the people have zesty dogs out there. That is a thing. Yeah, this is actually really good. Really, really good. Okay. Yeah, I already subscribed, but I'm gonna send this over to my wife. I'm gonna share this with her. I'm gonna show it to my kid and see if my kid actually wants to watch it. I bet they will. Yeah, wow. Good for you. Do it. Keep doing it. Especially this part here. where you're turning to the kids and doing that whole thing. I noticed there's a lot of kids shows that do that, and the kids really get into it. The kids really, really get into it. They answer back. So this is very smart. This is actually a very smart idea. Keep doing it. The thing with YouTube channels, lock in and make another 100 episodes. Don't worry about the likes. Don't worry about the views. Don't worry about anything. Just keep on doing it. That's where all the lessons are learned, from continuously doing it and being consistent. Set a time, set a day, because this is parents, right? So you're speaking to parents, right? You're making a thing for kids, but you're actually speaking to parents. So set a day and a time where you are going to post, and try to stick to it, and don't deviate from it, because parents need it. They need to know, like, okay, there's going to be a new episode of this show, and I can just sit my kid down. My kid will just watch this. I know it's 100% clean. So definitely do that. Definitely do that. A perrito is a small dog. So I was right. It is like a zesty dog. All small dogs are zesty. Everybody knows that. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? Every small dog is zesty. Anyway. But yeah, definitely make sure to just lock in, same time, because the psychology is that you're making the show for kids, but the outer workings of the show, the scheduling and stuff, that's all for the parents. So remember, like, a kid show is just as much for the parents as it is for the kids, because the parents have to be able to stand by it and watch it and know that it's good. And then the kids just have to be entertained. Each episode is 14 hours. Yeah. This is great. Hit that subscribe button on here. Where? How do I go to the? I gotta go to the main thing again here. Let me just jump over there really quick. Betty is bilingual. There you go. You got 148 views. You got 28 subscribers. There you go. Keep going. Just keep on going. That's all you do. Just keep on making videos, and it will pay off. Coach, you are such a delight. That's all. Thank you so much, Michelle. Appreciate you. Then black culture is pushed to the black culture that is pushed to the masses. It's not typical, it's stereotypical. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, it's all pushed to the masses now. What they wanted just for the inner cities at one point, they want for everybody now. They're like, forget degeneracy just here. We need it everywhere. We're like, okay, we've destabilized that community already. Like, we have to move on to all the other communities. Like, we can't have any strong communities. Any strong community can stand up. So we need them all to just be a little quaky, Mama Bear Nix, is it possible to find out when the end of life renewal of docs was made? I don't think there is. A way to find that out. Could be what started the whole process. Erica at Fort Huachuca for briefing, followed by Harpole the day after for security briefing. If Charlie was about to make big changes to his documents, could be why they made sure he didn't make it to the appointment. Well, it's definitely I shouldn't say definitely. I would think it's because there was changes coming. That could be it. I think there was a bunch, especially when Megyn Kelly ended up saying that Charlie was thinking about giving back the donations. I mean, that seemed very weird. And that's not something I went and revisited the interview. That's not a thing that he said on her show. So that had to be something that he said to her privately, which means that he was making moves behind the scenes. Shell C, hey coach, did you hear Baron reference to Gary as a descendant of a Kandahar giant? I hope I spelled that correctly. The first time I watched your show, when you still had the yellow hat on, I thought you had a striking resemblance to Malcolm Jamal Warner, rest in peace. I think rest in peace. He's dead, right? When he was on the Cosby Show. Has anyone ever told you that? Yes. I used to have a stand-up bit about it, and I've gotten, especially when I'm fatter, I get that guy Anderson. I forget what his name is. Anderson something. When I was skinny, it would be Anderson Silva, DMX. I've been told Method Man. I've been told RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan. There's been basketball players. I think somebody said Randy Moss. I think it was Randy Moss. I think it was football players. I've been told that I look like all sorts of black. Anthony Anderson. Yeah, Anthony Anderson. I get all sorts. I go depending on my weight. One time I was in Cuba, and the guys I was with, we all looked Cuban because they were Persian. We all looked like we were Cuban. They were speaking Spanish, and we started telling people that I was Anderson Silva, and so many people believed it. And I would walk up because I don't know Spanish. I don't know Spanish, so I can just talk. And I'd be like, I would just walk up to tourists and go, "Ay, hola, you think and they'd be like, "Oh, we better give him some change or something. Do you want this? You want headphones?" I'd be like, "I'm just joking, guys. I'm just kidding. It would happen all the time. It was crazy." So yeah, I've gotten a lot of different. I've gotten Malcolm Jamal Warner before. I've gotten a bunch of different black people. It's all a compliment, kind of. Anthony Anderson's like, he's kind of a compliment. But Barron said that on his podcast. Did he? I didn't see that. He said that. I don't know where Barron heard that. And here's the thing. You know what's funny? I saw this comment in the morning, and I was like, when I cover Barron stuff, I'm doing things like, well, and then when we dig deeper in, and then the research actually shows, and then what Barron actually amplified this point here. That's what happens when I'm dipping into Barron's show. And then when he's dipping into to my show, he's like, I heard someone's the descendant of a Kandahar giant. That's what happens when he's dipping into my show. Those are the talking points that he gets. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Barron. And to that Kandahar giant. I mean, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard here and there. I've heard here and there that there is some kind of Kandahar giant thing going on with, that's just what I've heard. They took him in as their own, and he's highly trained, 3 rows of teeth, and his hair grows extraordinarily long. I mean, it grows down to his shoulders. This is what I heard. It grows down to his shoulders within 24 hours. So he's constantly having to cut his hair. All the time he's having to cut his hair. And his teeth just keep growing, and a lot of anger issues because he's a giant. He's meant for war, you understand? And it's just like, wow, he's going through a lot. Apparently. I mean, this is what I've heard. I don't know who spread that rumor. Hey, coach. Let me keep going here. Oh, yeah, I said you have to give me a timestamp. I replied. I didn't even know I can reply to these. I can hit reply and start talking to you through your comments. I didn't know. Emma, love your work. Keep going. Thank you so much. And then someone said, here's a thought. Are Charlie Kirk's parents? Okay, you already said this, right? I already read this, right? Here's a thought on Charlie Kirk's parents not speaking or being seen. Falls into the realm of Charlie figuring it out and divorcing her. Yeah, I read this yesterday. But let me see. I could have sworn, like you said, there was a few that I missed, and I feel like you're right. I don't know which ones it is. The Russia one, just out of curiosity. Falling into Tucker's footsteps, coming back with an interview. Already read that. Issues, full dissertation. I remember that. Wrote so much, I remember that perfectly. I feel like someone sent a video and I didn't actually get to see it. I can't remember. Is this it? While watching Barron, I had to stop. Did I read this already? I don't even know. It's from Gasolina. Sent a video before. I don't know what this is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be crazy or not. While watching Barron today, I had a thought and I stopped dishes to tell you before I forget. Okay.
My gosh, I just had to re-record this because I had my blanket like this the whole time. It looked like I didn't have a shirt. Anyways, so I'm watching Barron and he's talking about Blake. And I started thinking, what if they're just hyping him up? What if like everybody's telling him, you're so outspoken. Yes, yes, Blake. He probably even like got a raise or something. The whole time they're just gaslighting him and telling like I think he really believes all of this stuff. Like because his personality is very bland. There's no reason for him to be this buck. You know what I'm saying? To like buck this much. Someone's filling his head up and making him think that he's that guy. And wish my puppy recovery. He has a little cone right now. He had a hernia. So yeah. So I thought to tell you.
That is interesting. That's very Gasolina, friend of the show. Gasolina. Somebody wanted me to sing that before. I don't know all the words. All I know is the sounds. Gotta go gasoline. Gasoline. I don't actually know what he's saying. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think so. I think that makes sense. Shout out to the dog in the background. Hope you're all right. But yeah, that makes sense to me. That there is something going on with Blake being told, maybe not being told that he's that guy, but being told that he has to step up. Actually, you know what? You're actually right. Where did I see this? I just saw this morning. Oh, I don't know if I bookmarked it. I just saw exactly what you're saying this morning. Oh, I wish I could remember that. Is this it? So I guess this doesn't actually touch on what she's saying directly, but it does touch on him being gassed up. But this is back intimately. This is back when Tucker Carlson was on. So when you're seeing him like buck up like this, it could have started here. Could have really started here.
Intimately at Fox, and I love Blake. And Blake is obviously an unusual person, but just a wonderful person and a really deeply decent person.
I mean, it's true.
And obviously, yeah, Blake's weird, but like Blake is the best. And people who love Blake really love Blake. And there's a little group of people who, we all know each other. We all talk about Blake.
You see what I mean? Like this is like a 10-minute clip where they're just like talking about Blake and how great he is. So you could be right about that. He could have possibly been gassed up beyond belief. And it started with Tucker, and maybe it just kind of kept going. I don't know. Maybe he has people in his ear. Maybe also he I don't know. I feel like he's being prompted to do what he's doing with Candace. I do feel like there's a little bit of that. I don't feel like he's just doing that on his own and there's no conversation about it. It seems like they always have a conversation about everything, and it's usually the wrong thing to do, but they do it anyway. That type of thing. It's very weird, but we're going to get to that clip tomorrow. Definitely. I still have much time today, but Gasolina,
Oh my gosh,
shout out to Gasolina. Thank you so much for sending a video. You guys can send videos too. I do see them and I will play them on the show 100%. Shout out to you. Let's keep going here. I knew I saw something because I remember seeing it in the morning and I was like, oh, I gotta watch this later. Out of Bubblegum, just saying hi. Finally got this to work. And then let me see somebody else. I'm Catholic, but I still believe in sign and numbers. Yeah, I feel like I missed this one. Hi, Coach. I love your YouTube videos. One of the Daily Dose. No, I did read this one because I remember it being written weird. I'm like, why did they write Coach that way? And why did they write Coleman that way? Okay. Yeah, okay. I did it. Anyway, I will find more that I haven't seen. Someone else said that they sent one recently. Let me see. Slick Rick. What's going on? The Slick Rick. I just want you to know how much I always look forward to your show and being a part of the Mint Gang. Love how much I laugh while watching and find myself saying, oh baby, Coach Colin is my favorite podcaster. LOL. Also, I picture Cash drinking some Ray and Nephew and listening to Murder, She Wrote on his way to pick up his girlfriend. P.S. I also follow you on Instagram. Yeah, no, I've seen you on Instagram. I've definitely seen messages. I feel like I've responded to messages from you on Instagram. But yeah, Ray and Nephew. For those of you that don't know, my dad was Jamaican, so I know about Ray and Nephew. There is not many other things that are stronger than Ray and Nephew. It is alarmingly strong. If somebody hands you a shot of Ray and Nephew, you should sip it for 10 minutes, you should not take that shot because they're trying to draw you in to very deep, dark waters. You have to be very wary of Ray and Nephew. I myself, okay, because even when I did drink alcohol, I did not like it, and I definitely didn't like strong things. But wow, oh wow, did I did I see people lose their faculties drinking Ray and Nephew? It is something else. It is something to behold when you see someone drinking Ray and Nephew. If you see someone open a bottle of Ray and Nephew, if you're at a party, you should leave that party. If I'm telling you, if you see someone drinking it, you should steer clear. I'm telling you. And also, if they can keep their composure while they're drinking it, oh, they're basically a serial killer. Get away from that person. I'm telling you. I mean, it's crazy how strong it is. It's nuts. Don't let it get on your skin. It will go into your skin. You will be drunk on contact. I mean, it's that type of thing. It's nuts. So Kash Patel drinking Ray and Nephew. And you know the thing I didn't mention about Kash Patel? I've always known people, and tell me if you guys know this, or maybe I just, I was around degenerates throughout my life, but there was always people, and I'm not saying that he does this, but I noticed that he sniffs a lot. But I also know people get allergies and stuff. When I get allergies, it's terrible. I sniff a lot too when I have allergies. But I notice that he sniffs a lot. But I also know that there's a thing with people who drink. It's not all people who drink. There's some people, when they drink and they get too drunk, they turn to another substance to even themselves out. And I always wondered, like when I saw him sniffing a lot, I was like, that's probably nothing. I'm like, who cares? He just sniffs a lot. I knew people were making jokes about it. But then when you bring up the drinking, with the alleged drinking, because who knows if that's actually true, that lawsuit has to be battled out. We'll see how that comes. But when you take that and the sniffing, I always wonder, I'm like, oh, is he like maybe he's like evening himself out? And I won't even say him. I won't even put it to him. Just, I know people do that. I know there are people who have drinking problems, and when they get too drunk, they even themselves out with that other thing. I've known about that. The jaw clenching gives it away. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's weird. The booger sugar, yeah. That's an old school term. But yeah, it's very weird with Kash. I always think of that. What is this? Mike Riley? Is Mike Riley here? Let me open these up here. Mike Riley. Mama, this Puff Daddy got his dang-a-lang out all over the internet. That old white man Clyde Davis did a number on that boy back in the day. That's crazy, about Clyde Davis. That's wild, about Clyde Davis. A lot of people don't know about Clyde Davis. Diddy had a quote-unquote mentor of sorts. His name was Clyde Davis. Clyde Davis might have taught him the ways of the baby oil, just to break it down that way. That's crazy. Of course, about him. Why did I ever doubt you, Mike Riley? Keith Tank, if you call in the next 33 minutes, you're going to get this Fed Slop bundle for the low price of just $33.33. Don't wait. Frank, what's going on back there? Oh, hold on, Frank. Just call right now. 333-1333-333 ball. Call now. That is BAAL. Frank, what are you telling me here? There's a big discount coming. Oh my God. What are you talking about here? We're going to take off the 33 cents. We're going to take off the 33 cents. And it's just going to be $33. Same amount as a manhunt to catch Tyler Robinson. This Fed Slop is coming in hot, ladies and gentlemen. I so want to make that. Gonna do an episode where it's just an infomercial. Those Etsy witches. Okay. I think we hit most of them. Let me just scroll down just to make sure. And shout out to Miss Chris Viz. I'm very happy. Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Miss Chris Viz. I'm very happy that you did that. You should always start the channels that you want to start. So many people want to do something like that, and they never do. They just never do. What did he say? You're already a good dad. You don't need to worry so much. You're hyper focused on them. Relax and enjoy them. Oh, I know, but it's so hard. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. So hard not to focus on the kids or over focus. Let me see. Sometimes I see them here, the ones that I missed. Okay, so it looks like I didn't miss any. All right. Let's jump into the supers real quick. And I'll check again. Don't worry, guys. I'll check again. I always check again. It's going to joke that BB is that way for DJT. Yeah, no, it's not just it's a going joke. No. It's not that he's like that just for the president. The joke or the rumor or what's said is that he is just like that. He is just very, very much like that. I actually haven't covered it much, but Ashley St. Clair, who used to be very, very on the right, who has now kind of become politically homeless, has been talking about Benny Johnson for a while. And she's talking about like him doing things at conferences, almost out in the open with dudes, like just weird stuff. And I don't know about any of it because I don't know Ashley St. Clair or anything like that. I don't know her stories, or, she was just very in the know on the right. Now she's not. And she kind of has the same stories that Milo has. And, they're both inviting lawsuits, and they say that they actually know people who have personal experiences with him. It's like, it's a weird thing. I don't know if any of that's true, saying to the goodbye to the Constitution after 250 years. No, never say that. Never let it go. Write it down if you have to, because who knows what they'll do with technology nowadays. Write it down so you have it. Write it word for word. Laminate it. Never let it go. It is one of the greatest documents in all of the world, bar none. There's nothing like it anywhere else in the world. It's so valuable. It's crazy valuable. They don't have that. Just across the border, Canada, they don't have that. They don't have it in Mexico. They don't have it anywhere in Africa. They don't have it anywhere in Europe. They don't have it anywhere in South America. There's nowhere else. It's one of the most valuable pieces of document towards human beings, not even just Americans, humans in general. So don't let it go. Coach, well said. It's that simple. Simple as a pimple. Thank you very much, Jamie. Benny the butt stabber. Butt stabber is a crazy phrase. I mean, just wild. Just a wild phrase, Candace is courageous, authenticity in integrity. Thank you very much. I'm sure she'll appreciate that. Sway Diesel, Cash Money Records, baby. I heard that's what his girlfriend signed to. Cash Patel, Chihuahua energy. Yeah, right? That's what I mean. The erratic energy he has. It's not like a fun energy where you're like, oh, let's see where this guy's going next. It's an energy like, oh, I'm going to step back from this guy. Is this guy going to hit me? What's going on here? It's very weird. It's just, it's like a Chihuahua, very much so. Oh Lord, Cash can look away, no autofocus. Hit the like, siempre. Thank you very much, appreciate that. Miss Chris Viz, you really truly love you, Coach. Blessed with you every day. Thank you so much. Horrormom.com. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Lone Wolf, yo coach, just showing support. I'm finally back in the game and reactivated my Mint Daddy membership. Had some financial difficulties for a bit, but keep on keeping on, brother. You're my boy. You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy. You have no idea how many times I've watched Old School before. You have no idea. I've watched Old School at least 40 times. At least. I mean, so good. Such a good movie. And if you have difficulties, don't worry, man. You don't have to do anything that is not in the budget. You don't have to do that, man. Don't even worry about it. I was that guy, quote unquote. I heard the second I heard the 30-06, I called BS and absolutely mauled and got absolutely mauled on FB and got kicked off X for 2 weeks for saying I've shot that rifle for the last 20 years. There's no way. Yeah, a lot of guys who who know about that stuff right away, they're like, that's just not how it goes. Like I said, I was hanging out with a tactical training guy, and he was just like, nah. He's like, that's not how that goes. And he's not tactical training for like, he's not like Gary where it's like, oh, I have a company. Oh, I have this company here. It was like actually within the forces, actually employed, not like adjacently employed so he can do these weird things online. And, you know what I mean? He's not a Kandahar giant. This is a real man here. And he said, there's no way. He's like, there's just no way. He's like, it's just not how it works. He's like, he said it would have blown up his neck. The guy was like, he's like, it would blow it up. He's like, it would have decapitated him. He's like, that's how it works with those. See sound guy, John Travolta in Blowout, De Palma. See sound guy, John Travolta in Blowout. I've never even heard of that movie. I assume it's a movie because you mentioned John Travolta. Gen X boomer, my ass. Oh my gosh. I love that the longer you are a part of our YouTube family, the sassier you get. Love, sincerely, an old lady from Facebook. Thank you very much, Wendy. Appreciate you. You do not look old in this picture. I feel like I've said that about you before. I feel like you've messaged before. Good morning, coach / fan. Coach, you should check out Charlie Kirk's interview with Dennis Prager, where Dennis Prager is trying to convince Charlie about the alphabet acceptance. Really interesting convo. Prager's trying to, that's interesting. Prager's trying to convince Charlie about that. That seems like out of sorts. I guess I don't know Prager all that much. That's interesting. Let me see something here. Because I do tend to actually go and check out what you guys suggest. Charlie Kirk, Dennis Prager. Let me see here. Interesting. Okay. My friendship with Charlie. Oh, it's hard to find the interview now. It is hard to find the interview now. They sit down together. Oh, maybe this is it. Is this it? They sit down together. The countdown. Let me see. No, this is not it. Oh, that's so interesting. Well, I mean, I don't think Charlie went for it. I haven't seen the video. I can't find it, but I don't think Charlie went for it. That's my prediction. Pouring into Charlie, in other words, infiltrating. That's a wild statement to make. Yes, that's what I mean. The whole pouring into him is getting a hold of him, handling him, from afar, from very close. In Rob McCoy's case, Ultra Instinct, an anime nerd, Ultra Instinct DC. Cash Vegas, by the way, by way of Garden City, New York, Bill O'Reilly's hometown, will tell you a lot more about that town one day. Sorry, I'm 2 hours behind. Interesting. Cash Vegas. Yeah, by the way of, okay. All right. Well, tell me about it. I would love to know more about that. Oh my God, coach. They are the real life Always Sunny, in Philadelphia. Oh, what? Frank and Jack? They could be. They kind of are. Kind of. Because, again, not funny, right? Unless you don't like Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I mean, so many people love that show. I missed the first one I sent yesterday. Oh, I missed it. I missed the first one you sent yesterday. Let me see here. Did I? What did you say? I would love to know, because if you sent it in the super chat, let me see here. Let me see if I can go to my own channel and play my own video. Is that possible? Ah, there we go. Let me see here. What did you say? I can't find it. Nah, it's not here. I thought I could switch to it here and find out your amount goal. No, can't find it. Let me know what you said. Tell me, unless you're here still, tell me the message. Tell me right here. Seems like you just sent that. Tell me here. I'll see if I can find it. I'll stay here in the chat, and then I'll move on to the next super chat here. Boom. There you go. There you go. Problem solved. We got it. Just saying hi, Coach, and to Mrs. Coach. Sending all the love. Have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. Charisse Click. And that's it. That is it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still here, hats hide lobotomy scars. Let me know, and I will say whatever it is right now. I'll make sure to. Anyway, Lionel stealing your mojo equals wants to coach Candace and Tucker. Lionel took my mojo. Is Lionel wearing a hat? Is that what you're talking about? Lionel wearing a hat? Is that what's going on? Anyway, let's see here. Let me see if any more coffees rolled in. I don't think they. Oh, one. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I was wrong. Hey, Coach. Thanks for the dedication and great content. I always look forward to your show. Who is this? Alika? That has to be the name. That's a nice name. Unless I'm saying it wrong, then, you should change it, because it sounds nice. I always look forward to your show and having a good laugh in the midst of everything bad going on around us. Side note, Tucker had a recent interview with Stephen D. Young. It was very interesting and reminded me a lot of the spiritual aspects you've discussed before, including he talks about giants in the ancient history world and in the Bible. Also, Stephen D. Young is a priest. I have to revisit that. I was looking at that and I was like, I need to watch this, and I didn't have time yesterday. He's also a priest of an Orthodox church, which is the same kind of church Candace was visiting and posted pictures of the interior. And that I remember in one of your last videos, you really loved the inside of. Anyways, I really enjoyed that interview and thought if you hadn't seen it already, you probably would too. Again, thank you for all your hard work and dedication, always putting on a smile on our faces. Yes, I will be watching that, because there were some things that I really liked in that episode. I was just looking at like the timestamps. I have to go and watch that. Yes, you're 100% right about that. Thank you so much for reminding me. Anyways, guys, I have to get going. We gotta go. We're at 3 hours. We cap it at 3 hours. We try to anyway. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. Please beware of the Kandahar Giant. Kandahar Giant is out there. He is throwing Fed Slop everywhere. Apparently, the Fed Slop is very hot. So please watch out for him. He's just everywhere recently. It's getting a little out of control, quite honestly. Apparently, Elizabeth Lane has a bunch of information about him. I don't know what that information is, but if it's about the 3 rows of teeth, I already told you guys about that. If it's about anything else, well, you guys keep me updated, or I'll keep you updated. But anyways, Candace is off. Don't expect her. I don't know if Baron's going live today. I'll be putting out another episode at 6 p.m. We'll have another thing up. So, and then the clip channel as well. There'll be a bunch of clips there as well for those of you that are late, for those of you that are not into that whole thing. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much. We will be back tomorrow, right around 10 a.m. Real close to 10 a.m. Anyway, I'm out of here.